welcome to the show where it's wrestling with entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, the mood ain't mooding right now, so we might as well just jump on in it.
Well, before we jump on to the news, it was a good week for Wrestling Wit as we interviewed Rika Wild Lee on Wednesday. A fantastic interview, very transparent, definitely shared a lot. Definitely want to go check that interview out if you haven't already. But that brings us to this upcoming Wednesday, Blackout, our second wrestler ever from the country of Brazil. We talk about his time in Brazilian Wrestling Federation, only ever working for the promotion, maybe taking a step back from the promotion, coming back. His goal set on the Rookies Championship, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely want to check that one out. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now. Or a clip of that one.
And we put our ring into the truck. It was a small truck, open, not a big truck. But it broke down during the trip, and it broke down on the freeway. So there was just a space for the broken cars to stop, and that's it. And we stopped it there. We went back, got a second truck, same thing, open up. We stopped the truck in front of the broken truck, and like 10 people climbed up to both trucks, cars passing, like the wind almost dropping us, and we were changing the things between the trucks from on top of the truck because we couldn't go around it because there were cars passing by. And we almost died that day. We basically almost died that day. We broke a lot of traffic rules. We didn't get caught, but that was a very fun experience. The trucks, the taller trucks, once they got by us, the wind almost dropped us from the truck, which would be a big fall, and a car would run us over. So we would die. There was no chance of surviving before.
And then August 5th, we have Lou O'Farrell, and on the 6th, we have Morgan McClay. So getting back to the double interviews at the beginning of August, we should be at full strength with more interviews announced sooner rather than later. So definitely check out at Wrestling with E on, well, primarily X when we announce new interviews. But yeah, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it was not a great week for pro wrestling. It was not a great day for wrestling by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of bad shit happened. We are wrestling with the news. And I would be remiss if we didn't start off with the first bit of bad news, and that is the passing of metal rock and roll icon Ozzy Osbourn. He was a part of the pro wrestling world, and while, he wasn't necessarily, Ozzy didn't necessarily make or break pro wrestling coming in. He did make appearances when it wasn't necessarily cool or taboo to go to pro wrestling events. His time at WrestleMania 2, as everybody knows. He guest hosted an episode of Raw, and he even did a performance on SmackDown. So Ozzy Osbourne was definitely a part of pro wrestling, even if it was a small part. Kaliko?
I mean, his part was enough to promote wrestling. So, I mean, he made the Hall of Fame. So it seemed it was intrinsic enough, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because I mean, he didn't wrestle, but the fact he was there brought eyeballs to the product that otherwise wouldn't be there. So, I mean, but yeah, he lived a life. And it was crazy because they say he died like a couple weeks after he retired.
Yeah.
I think a couple weeks or a couple days after did his last show.
Which is eerily reminiscent of Sabu a couple months ago. Passing, 2 weeks after his final match.
Yeah, but I mean, they went out doing what they loved, and that's the biggest key from them to. I mean, he lived a life though, so I mean, it sucks that it was sudden, but if anybody knows about his life, he falls to the wall. Then,
Oh, yeah.
and if there was a definite, like, he's the definition of balls to the wall when it's like living life to the fullest. He did it all.
Yeah. He
So
very much lived his life.
yeah, he maxed out. Like
You're not wrong about that. And obviously one of the greatest rock and rollers of all time, Black Sabbath. If you want a full history of Ozzy Osbourne music, I would definitely recommend going to somebody that knows that history.
well,
But
what's crazy? The intro to me for Ozzy Osbourne, even though I knew of him, until his one of his songs, Crazy Train, got sampled by Little John on Trick Daddy, which I was like, so that's where that came from. So that's what that he had a hip hop sample. One of his songs was literally used in a hip hop sample. One of the number one songs in the country too, by the way. But yeah.
I mean, when I heard of his passing, definitely wanted to. I was listening to my MP3 or my music player or whatever you want to call it, and I played the first song that I wanted to play because I wanted to listen to that specific song, and literally the next song after it didn't prompt it, wasn't expecting it, was "I Don't Want to Stop" by Ozzy Osbourne, and probably my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song as well. And I popped hard for myself when I heard that. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, I hear that.
So yeah, definitely one of the all-time greats for sure. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his friends, and his adoring fans as well. But unfortunately, it does not stop with Ozzy Osbourne when it comes to deaths. The immortal Hulk Hogan um, has unfortunately passed away. Came toe to toe with God, and God said that don't work for me, brother. Um, Terry Bollea was born in Augusta, Georgia, on 1953. Um, as many people know, he started in the AWA.
AWA.
Yeah. Um, can I'm trying to get the information here, but he was trained by a Japanese legend. Um, can trying to pull up the information here, but he was trained in NWA, AWA, I should say, by a Japanese pro wrestler that during the training, um, he intentionally broke Hulk Hogan's leg. Um, Hulk would heal up, come back the next day, or when his leg was healed, and essentially start his pro wrestling career. Um, he did work for World Wrestling Federation in from 79 to 81 for Vince McMahon Sr., um, which Sr. famously did not want Hogan to act in Rocky 3. Hogan denied that, and he said, "I'm going to do it anyway." He got fired. He went on to play in Rocky 3, and I think he was off to the races after that. No, Kalika?
Mm, uh, it was, well, the way it went is that yes, he was there. He got fired for Rocky 3, but at that point, he was already a star, if that makes sense. Because keep in mind, the Hulkamania thing was not a WWE product. Unlike it didn't start in WWE, it hit its apex in WWE, but it actually began under Vern Gagne in the AWA.
It was starting to pick up
The
steam.
Yeah, I mean, wearing the shirt, having the Hulkamania shirt, ripping it off, and all that stuff. That kind of started in AWA. He became a big draw. So when he got to that, when he was kind of finding his way in WWE, he got into Rocky 3, and Rocky 3 made him a bigger star, if that makes sense. So him 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 being big, going to AWA, or him being big in AWA, going to WWE, kind of buzzing, and then getting fired and going on the Rocky 3, they had no choice but to get him back because that was around 82. And then the actual whole crux of his era started in 84. Uh, right around actually when I was born, to be quite honest. So about roughly about 40 years ago. Uh, so yeah, so that's how it kind of went around. It went about. Um, just putting it in context. So he basically bet on himself and did it, and then Vince Jr. was like, "Nah, we got to get this guy," and they plucked him because the whole point of when he came back, they made him cancel all the AWA shows, or he couldn't fulfill his contract for the AWA shows because he was selling out arenas in AWA.
Do you think it's crazy that, in his first time training, his trainer Matsuda, I believe it was,
Hiro Matsuda?
yeah, Matsuda, broke his leg, and for anybody, you know, that's a casual wrestling fan, trying to get into pro wrestling, I would imagine that would very much discourage them, and we would have never had, a Hulk Hogan. But just for him to kind of say, well, he broke my leg, but I'm going back and I'm going to see this through, it does definitely shows you the kind of person he was, well, at least back then, you know, trying to become somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, he went from being a bass player to saying he wanted to be the greatest wrestler of all time. So he had no choice but to see that through.
And he succeeded. And on January 20, I just lost it. Fuck. January 23rd, 1984. He would go on to defeat the Iron Sheik to capture his first WWE championship. Um, Essentially making Hulkamania mainstream, making the WWE, I don't want to say global, but at least, you know, it made it WWE the big dog when it came to pro wrestling. Um,
I would say
national.
it made WWE national. It made him global.
Well, I mean, he was kind of already global because prior to coming to WWE, back to WWE in in '84, he did work New Japan. Um, he he wrestled, I believe, Andre a couple times, and even Anoki. So, I mean, he was known internationally prior.
Yeah, he was known, but there's a different stratosphere. Uh, from '84 to on up, I mean, he's basically like Michael, and now not just like as far as recognizable in popularity, he was up there with like Michael Jackson, Prince, like icons where like he can't walk in. He could be in Djibouti, Africa, and somebody would know who Hulk Hogan is.
You're not wrong. You know, that would him beating the on Sheik would be the catalyst for him um, for WWF at the time um, to do the Rock and Wrestling Connection. You know, obviously, girls just want to have fun with Cyndi Lauper. Roddy Piper being Roddy Piper, and you know, setting off the first ever WrestleMania. And you know, it's kind of crazy just to think that out of everybody in that main event, Mr. T is the only one alive. It's kind of sad if you think about it.
I mean, 40 years ago, yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody's gone in that match except, as a matter of fact, up until what, the first 4 or 5 WrestleManias? I mean, up to WrestleMania 6, it was only Hulk Hogan, DiBiase, as far as main events, Hulk Hogan and DiBiase.
No, there's a Savage and DiBiase at 4.
No, I'm just saying, as far as alive,
Yeah.
as far as like the wrestlers alive. So that's what I'm saying. The only people that were still alive that main evented the first 6 was Hogan and DiBiase. Now it's just DiBiase, Mr. T. Hogan, DiBiase, Mr. T. So now it's Mr. T and DiBiase.
Right. Um, he would go on to WrestleMania, which was obviously the catalyst that made WWE, WWF, you know, the global phenomenon that they became. It was a roll of the dice, and it was because of Hulk Hogan that, you know, it was
Because of Hulkamania, they had named it WrestleMania.
it was no, it was actually because of Beatlemania. Vince McMahon wanted to call it Colossal Tussle, and then Howard Finkel said, "Well, when the Beatles came to America, it was dubbed Beatlemania, so let's call it WrestleMania." So
WrestleMania.
yeah, Howard Finkel, the made WrestleMania. Um, I think we could kind of jump over WrestleMania 2, go to WrestleMania 3, 93,000 in the Pontiac Silverdome. 9 matches on the card, but the only one that people, you know, came to see, bought a ticket to. Reason why they broke the attendance record at the time was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. One could say masterful storytelling at the time, which ended in the body slam heard around the world. Afterwards, I mean, and he would retain the title as well and he would hold that title until well into the next year, where he would have a rematch with Andre the Giant on Saturday night's main event.
Which threw 33 million viewers in 85 or 88. Oh, yeah, 88.
And I believe that was
88.
And I believe that was a record at the time as well.
Yeah, they were outdrawn the Super Bowl. Just keep that in perspective.
He would lose the title on that very show to Andre the Giant when Ted DiBiase, and I'm not making this up, paid a referee to have paid a person to have plastic surgery to look like the referee to screw over Hulk Hogan so he could get the championship. Nothing has been done like that before. The referee in question was Al Hebner, who took the place of Dave Hebner, which was actually his biological twin brother. So it kind of sort of worked anyway. Dave would retire, and Al would obviously go on to be Al Hebner. Hulk Hogan would not hold the WWE Championship until the next year, WrestleMania 5, when he competed against Randy Savage. Randy Savage at WrestleMania 4 won the championship in a very convoluted tournament. First time Hulk Hogan was not the main event of WrestleMania. They did form the Mega Powers, and then sometime during their tag team, Hulk Hogan, he had lust in his eyes for Miss Elizabeth. Which, I mean, obviously Hulk Hogan was the babyface in the... It was presented as the babyface, but a lot of people were kind of siding with Savage. And I get it. And it's just masterful storytelling where a year, more or less a year, story that just kind of exploded. And afterwards, I believe we're up to almost, I think this is the next thing on the agenda. Hulk Hogan would want to get into movie business, Hollywood, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, they were calling him Mr. Nanny, Trouble in Paradise, or it's Thunder in Paradise. Thunder in Paradise, No Holds Barred. He's had, they were giving him the chances, but keep in mind, it would have came had he not did Rocky 3.
Right. And it all kind of, No Holds Barred was the catalyst of that. Vince McMahon wrote the script, so you know that it was great shit. It's probably one of the worst movies of all time. But there are still a couple of good lines in it. Which did prompt a paid preview called No Holds Barred, the match, the movie.
With Tiny Lester.
Zeus versus Hogan in a solid steel cage match.
I mean, they fed him so many people, they had to go get another person. They literally had to hire an actor to be like, hey, bro, you want to come wrestle Hulk Hogan real quick? Get this bread.
Actors notwithstanding, Hogan would go on to WrestleMania 7 to wrestle Swords and Slaughter.
6.
I forgot about 6, yeah.
Ultimate Warrior.
He dropped it to Warrior, and it did seem like WWE was going with Warrior. Despite Warrior being over, it was never as over as Hulk Hogan. And I would you say Ultimate Warrior was more problematic than Hulk Hogan?
In a sense, because to his core, Hulk Hogan was a company man. Keep in mind, he did snitch on Jesse Ventura when they were trying to unionize.
I mean, true, but when I'm kind of, if Hulk Hogan was hard to deal with, well, he had the backing to be hard to deal with because he's put asses in seats.
Well, he was the guy. So they used to do tours. Remember, they were doing A tours and B tours. So if Hogan wasn't on the house show, it wasn't going to sell.
Right. And I mean, they tried.
That's how big Hogan was. I mean, he was a like I said, he was the first. And when you're the first, dude, he is wrestling. Like there is no wrestling. I mean, no, let me put it this way. Wrestling would still be here, but it would not be as uh, casually watched as if it wasn't for Hogan.
100%. I dare to say we wouldn't be here right now talking about pro wrestling if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan and his contributions to pro wrestling. Um, it was the first time Hulk Hogan was out of the title picture, but he had a feud with Ortquick, um, kind of
A couple of
sidetracked.
TV shows.
Yeah, while Ultimate Warrior was doing his thing. But he would bounce back at WrestleMania 7, the very controversial Swords and Slaughter rivalry. Um, yeah, maybe not a fun time to be Swords and Slaughter at that time, but Hulk Hogan obviously got the nod, took the belt back, and he'd hold it until Survivor Series of 91.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, where the Undertaker would defeat Hulk Hogan. Obviously Survivor Series would have been established for maybe 3, 4 years at this point. Um, but what wasn't established was having a paid preview literally a week later at this Tuesday in Texas. There hasn't been a this Tuesday in Texas since. Where Hulk Hogan would retain the title. Depending on who you ask, it was a pretty controversial time. Hogan, I believe, accused Undertaker of hoarding him or not being a safe worker. Fortunately, Undertaker bounced back from that. Then this is kind of where things kind of get wonky and weird. He would drop the title at Royal Rumble 92 to Ric Flair, even though he was champion. Well, this Tuesday in Texas, made controversy, yada yada. He would main event WrestleMania 8 against Sid Justice, the first time the title wasn't in the main event. Just again, a wonky time. He would maybe take some time off. Um, and he won't come back until 93.
93, WrestleMania 9.
Where he teamed with his best friend, Brutus the Beefcake. In one of the most forgettable, controversial tag team matches of all time. Which led to him going into the main event of WrestleMania 9, taking the title off of Yokozuna. And
Yokozuna, who just beat Bret Hart. Yeah, it was a time.
And one of the most controversial endings of WrestleMania as well.
Of course.
I mean, even going into that WrestleMania, okay, so Brutus breaks his face in a skiing accident. Whether you want to
Yes.
believe that or not, great, great, good for you, bad for you, who cares? His face was broken. He was okay afterwards. Obviously needed money to pay medical bills. Hogan came to get him a payday, brother. Then Hulk Hogan supposedly, depending on who you ask, if you ask him, he was in a skiing accident where he got a black eye. And that's kind of where you're like, how how dangerous is skiing? And how unlucky are these sons of bitches? You know what I mean?
Like he just saw his friend got damn near die from a boating accident. It's like, yeah, let me try this.
If you
Let me write this out.
if you believe rumor and innuendo, he some people believe that he had an argument with Randy Savage a couple nights prior, and Randy Savage punched him. That hasn't necessarily been confirmed, but I want to say if Randy Savage was going to punch Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't keep it a secret. I think he would have said, "I punched you in the face" before WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of rumors in wrestling. We should have do a top 10 rumors that are not confirmed. Because there's a lot of them.
You know, that actually might be a really good top 10 for the future.
Because I'm trying to think, I'm like, because I remember there was a rumor about, well, let's sidebar. There was a rumor about Macho Man flowering Stephanie. There's a lot of goddamn rumors.
Yeah. I've even taken a step further where he actually got Stephanie McMahon pregnant. Whether that's anybody believes that or not, I don't know, but that rumor's out there. Um, he would actually do a stint. Well, actually, he would go on to hold the championship um, until March, I believe. At the King of the and would drop June, I should say.
June. It was June. He dropped it at the King of the Ring because the rumor in that is that Brett was supposed to get the belt back from Hogan, and the rumor the rumor is that Brett lost to Yoko in order for Hogan to get the belt and for Hogan to drop the title to Brett because Brett was seen as the next guy. And the rumor is that Hogan said, I know Yob, loses it to Yoko. And that's where when Yoko had the belt, they had to experiment with Lex and Brett to see who liked who more.
I think this is the first. Maybe it was the first time we heard of maybe Hulk Hogan flexing. I mean, obviously he had an ego before this.
Oh, no, I think he flexed way more than that because I thought, I mean, in 40-year-old me is like Macho Man was right, and he should have won that match, right? So Hogan was out of pocket, and Macho Man should have won that match. 40-year-old me thinking that, but I mean, keep in mind we're talking about Hogan. Let's see, he was involved in the first 9 WrestleManias.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
But what I mean by flexing is while yes, a lot of people will maybe pulling for Randy Savage. I don't think Hulk Hogan had to say I should win this match. I think because Vince McMahon was very much all in love with Hulk Hogan and believe. I mean, literally the catchphrase is Hogan must pose, and Hogan must pose. That means there's no room for Randy must pose, um, Warrior must pose.
Warrior must pose. Hakeem must pose. Earthquake must pose. Typhoon must pose. Big Boss Man must pose. DiBiase must pose. Andre must pose. Did I lose any? Orndorff must pose. King Kong Bundy must pose.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob Orton must pose. I'm just going through the.
Roddy must pose.
Piper must pose.
But
he went through some cats.
But you get my point where he didn't necessarily have to flex because Vince was going to go with him anyway.
Well, because the crowd came to see him win. He was. It's funny because my kid, sidebar, sorry to interrupt, but it's funny because my kid was like, he got a Hulk Hogan autograph figure from a person at WrestleMania 39. My kid was like, who the heck is Hulk Hogan? And I was like, he was the John Cena of his time. Think John Cena on steroids. And he was like, oh, okay. So I get that's how crazy Hogan was. Like they didn't people didn't buy those tickets to see Hogan lose. Yeah, he was John Cena on steroids. Like it was his record run in the 80s was banana.
But I mean, think of it this way. His record was insane. He has a loss to Lenny Pavo. That's not like, no. He took a loss to Lenny Pavo. So I mean, at that time, he didn't have that much of an ego where Vince would say, take a drop to Lenny, even though it wasn't, a pinfall loss.
No, I beg to differ. I think
in '93, and people are starting to come up on him, and in '93 we could vote and say that Hulk Hogan looked significantly different than he did in '84. So
I mean, but '93 people were kind of like. I mean, '93, it was starting, they wanted more, it was a new blood. They needed new blood.
And he still wanted paydays, and he was driven by that.
And he still wanted that money. Hey, Mr. Nanny, bro. Like, yes.
So, I mean, he would go, he would
holy shit
hold the championship against Yokozuna, dropping it to him. Depending on who you asked, he only won the championship because they were doing a UK tour, a UK farewell tour of Hulk Hogan, and that's why it was a little added extra. Even though the tour that he was on, he did not actually have the title. So you figure that one out. But
I'm just saying, he had a 3-year run. He was undefeated. So let's just. Man, I'm looking up the record. That dude, oh my god.
Well, it's funny to think that his last WWE appearance was him getting stretchered out after losing to Yokozuna in '93, and we wouldn't see
because of the camera.
Yeah, and
the camera.
We wouldn't see him back in the WWE ring until 2002. So 9 years later.
But he reinvented himself, and man, I'm telling you, he basically was responsible for the 2 biggest wrestling arcs in wrestling history that are memorable by the general consensus people. Mm-hmm. This dude teamed with Mr. T and Dennis Rodman. It's just
Um, Weirdly enough, he did us after leaving WWE or during that time. Yeah, around the same time, he would actually do a small stint in New Japan as well. He wrestled Great Muta at Wrestling Dontaku, and he even teamed with Masahiro Chono. So, still getting those good Japan checks, brother. Um, then, obviously controversy, preceded the steroid trial. He would go against Vince McMahon for the first time and go against him in the court. But yeah, that was pretty controversial at the time as well. He
I know, jail brother.
no jail. It definitely damaged their relationship, and I think that their relationship was pretty strained at this time at anyway. So it's just kind of coming full head way. Um,
Right.
which preceded him to go get that good WCW money. Um, 95 headed to WCW while he was filming Thunder in Paradise. For anybody that remembers that. Um, it didn't. He would go on to continue being the Hulk Hogan that we know, which didn't work for the crowd, brother. He started getting booed. Um, Not necessarily wanting the the red and yellow, which proceeded to Bass at the Beast '96, where he would famously turn heel and join Scott Hall and Kevin Nash as the NWO, um, reigniting his popularity. Um, some people disliked him, but the consensus was that he was cool again and that people wanted to see him again.
Well, because this was a side of Hogan that at the time to most people seemed more natural to him. Um, I mean, I still remember 12-year-old me watching that was like, what? What? Because that was the first, like, I've been to wrestling shows where, like, house shows where they throw garbage. No, they were throwing, like, it felt like every show they went to, they were throwing garbage. And then all of a sudden it became super cool. And everybody named Mama wanted to, like, you know, join the NWO, which felt like the Wu-Tang Clan because everybody was a member at that point.
Well, I mean, I was never really a WCW guy to begin with. And I do.
Hell, it was gone by the time you were born. Like, it was on the
It
decline by
was.
the time you were born.
It was.
WCW was on the decline, so that's why I'm like,
But I mean,
I get your point.
I could go back and watch WWE Raw from like '95 and '96. Even when it was the drizzling shits, and still, find some enjoyment of it. But WCW, for whatever reason, never resonated with me. And
See, you had to have grown with WCW because WCW in the South was just more they the stories were simpler and more digestible, right? It didn't come because the stories in WCW was just straight up, you my friend, you betrayed me, we go into fisticuffs, right? You had a couple of stories where it's like who's the best and who's the baddest, but other than that, that was pretty much the crux of WCW. I mean, keep in mind they rotated people in and out the four horsemen like it was a pair of shoes.
right, and that's the thing that I didn't like about WCW. It became too convoluted. It was There was too many masters to serve, and at the end of the day, they rather put over former WWE superstars than try and foster and grow the new generation. So,
Well, that happened when the NWO came.
right.
Because from the 80s to the 90s, from like, from its inception up until like mid 90s, they were trying to push people, which is, I mean, you wouldn't have Sting or Luger without it because Flair was putting them over. Flair basically put Ricky Steamboat over the hump as the guy in WCW. Ron Simmons got a turn. Vader got a turn. Um, so they had people. It was just that the people were not larger than life characters like the WWF.
Well, okay.
If that makes sense, because the WWF made the characters seem so out of pocket and so, I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, but
So, like, people remember Ricky Steamboat in WWF, but they don't remember Ricky Steamboat, former WCW champion. Like, like that's the point I'm making, right? Like, they'll remember the Lex Express, but they don't remember Luger 80, 89, 90 WCW champion. They remember, like, Vader's WCW run is more memorable than his WWF run.
uh, I mean that's debatable, but
Yeah.
that's a debate for an
Debatable. That dude was That dude was a menace in WCW. A fucking menace.
we're getting off track a bit. Let's
We're getting out of topic.
Yeah.
But I get your point. But back to Hogan. Yeah, he was the genesis of making it cool again. But also with him being the genesis of making it cool again, it gave him that creative control because the NWO was at that time was like the hottest thing ever. You got a 3-time NBA champion wanting to join the NWO. Yeah, it's
I think that that
Just-
Don't Work For Me brother originated in WCW if I'm not mistaken. That
I would not put it past you. Actually, it did. It did because I mean, Savage, Piper. Because you remember he was. I mean, you were born. I mean, yeah, you weren't even there at the time. But
I was born, I
during
just
that
wasn't
time,
aware.
you wasn't aware. That's what I'm saying. So his main event runs there then was essentially WWE guys.
Yeah.
Like Piper and Savage and Luger. You had maybe like one DDP.
Even fucking Ultimate Warrior came back.
Yeah, Warrior. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it was. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was out there stomping on cruise. I mean, he did stomp on cruiserweights, but it wasn't like they were in the main event. If that makes sense.
Absolutely
Like,
torpedoed Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, but but what I'm saying, like, not burying him in the ring, you know, because he was going against WCW and Piper, Flair, Hogan. I mean, Piper, Flair, Savage, Warrior.
I mean, we could make the argument that Sting at the time.
Typhoon, Kevin Sullivan. Not until Sting and Goldberg, you know what I'm saying, was like the newer guys, but or original WCW guys.
I mean, I could make the argument that they completely ruined and botched Sting's moment at Starrcade '97.
Oh yeah, that whole match was a shit show.
Yeah. They botched Goldberg. You know, obviously it was at the Georgia Dome. It was a big event, but that should have been on paid preview and not, you know, a basic, you know, a random episode of not Dynamite, Nitro. But I digress. You know, it was just one mistake after another, and I can't hope that, you know, Hulk Hogan was partly responsible for why things didn't necessarily come together that the way that they could have. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
should we mention the finger poke of doom, which was a lot of people believe is the death of the catalyst of the death of WCW. Um, WW
See, I'm looking at his WCW record, and if you look at his matches, he's not fighting like it ain't like he's fighting Jericho because during that time the hot division was the cruiserweight. Hogan was over everybody, but there was really no one person that could come and slay Hogan, and they were trying to save Sting for that moment. But if you look at this, like prime example, '96, Hogan beats Flair. Hogan and Savage beats Anderson and Flair. Hogan beats me. Hogan beats One Man Gang. Flair and the Giant beats Hogan and Savage. Flair beats Hogan. Hogan beats the Giant. I mean, the only new person they had was like the Giant. Arn Anderson beats Hogan. Arn Anderson. So he's fighting these older guys from the 80s. It wasn't like, okay, Diamond Dallas Page is coming up and it's his year. And they were like, no, it doesn't work for me. If that makes sense.
But,
like 98, I can make your argument because Buff Bagwell, I think, should have been a guy.
and just a quick side
Brian Adams, a.k.a. Adam Bomb. But everybody else, yeah, Luger and Sting and Hogan and yeah, he was basic, and then Brett comes in, and that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And
a quick shout out to Buff Bagwell, dealing with major, health issues right now. Hopefully he can get back past those and get back to being healthy again as well.
Right. See, so I mean, it ain't like he was. I mean, the only thing I think of is Uncensored '97, Chris Benoit, Jeff Jarrett, Piper, McMichael, Luger, Steiner, and the Giant. Like that could have been one because his schedule was hella light to be considered. He was on TV a lot, but his wrestling schedule is like how many matches he had from '96 to '99 was hella light.
It was
hella light. And like right now, March Nitro '99, Hogan beats Page. I can make the argument Page should have went over, but everybody else he's been fighting, if you look through his roster in WCW, it was basically dudes from the '80s and '90s. It wasn't like he was burying talent. It was just he was just staving off the people that should have got more shine.
But
Which it's still fucked up, but you know.
But who was the undercard in all those people? Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, Diamond Dallas.
Well, Scott Steiner was in the tag. Diamond Dallas Page got his comeuppance in the 2000s, which is the tail end, which is after all that NWO shit was over. But
right. I mean,
it was hard. I would say this. I get your point, but I don't think you understand. And I get it because you were younger. The NWO was a 5-year eclipse in WCW, bro. A 5-year eclipse. It got to the point where there were so many members in NWO.
I know.
They might as well change the promotion to NWO. So it was.
I know they're on Cage Match right now. Just click NWO members and tell me like how many actual members were part of the NWO, because I know that it's hilariously long.
But I mean, it had to be. No, it felt like 100 members. It felt like all of WCW was in the NWO.
Vince Russo would come into WCW, and he would throw he would make Jeff Jarrett lay down for Hulk Hogan, which
Let me.
Hogan would
You
oblige to
asked
do.
79. Sorry to interrupt. 79 members.
79 members then. Um,
There were 79.
would you say uh, would you say that the NWO was more successful than controversial when it comes to their time in WCW?
It was successful in the sense that here's the problem with it. You got to look at it as a totality. Both things can be true. They were successful in the sense that it had those people who grew up watching Hogan, and let's say if you're a teenager and you loved Hogan and now you're in college and you're looking at this new Hogan, it's got you back in. Right?
Right.
Even same for me. What, I was 5-year-old Hogan Warrior guys, those dudes were, and when you see that, it made you change your outlook on things. Like, it made you want to draw in again. So it was successful in the sense that it took away that lame, say your vitamins, eat your prayer shtick from him, and made him it showed a side of him that we would have never otherwise seen. It was controversial in the sense of how they booked NWO. Because if they had kept it to maybe, I'm looking at the members now.
I'll be
And
nice
let's say you got
members.
You got Nash, Hall, Hogan. You could have made in 6. Nash, Hall, Hogan, 6, Bischoff, and that's about in Rodman. But Dusty Rhodes had no goddamn reason being in the NWO. Do you see what I'm saying?
One more payday, baby.
The Disco Inferno was in the NWO.
Fuck, really? Yeah, the more
yes.
So
this is the point I'm making. Like, it got to a point where there were members in there that had no goddamn business being. Like, I could see Ted DiBiase being in it, but with Ted DiBiase, you got Vincent, and Macho Man was in it, but with Macho Man, you get Elizabeth. Hell, Luger, you got Elizabeth. The NWO Sting made sense because they were trying to frame Sting, so I got that point. Nick Patrick, why the hell's a referee in the NWO?
Because they needed somebody in their pocket.
And then you had Conan and Hennig and Rude and Brian Adams, Scott Steiner, The Disciple, which I think was Bruce's to beat Barbara Beefcake, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
Wasn't he Bruno Bruno?
Stevie Ray. Booker T wasn't, but this was the back of the
That was the WWE version, was Booker T.
That was the WWE version. But Scott Norton, Bubba Rogers, Mike Wall Street, Buff Bagwell, Nick Patrick.
Yep. It's
Giant, the Big Show. Like,
I agree with you.
Giant was in it.
I agree with you on the point of, both things can be true. WCW would not be successful without without the NWO, but at some point it became detrimental to NWO to WCW. It had to end at some point, but it was the only thing.
And it didn't end. It just broke apart, and that was the other part. It didn't end. It just split into 3 different groups, because you had NWO Red, NWO Black, and then LWO.
And there was a NWO Silver at one point.
Yeah, it was just bananas.
So, I mean, obviously it was innovative. It was a very important part of time. I mean, you had Jay Leno on wrestling at Hog Wild. Like you said, um, the basketball player that teams with Hulk Hogan,
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
He made the most sense. If there was anybody that made the most sense
Oh
for
yeah.
NWO, it was him.
So I mean, it was a good time to be a pro wrestling fan at that time. You know, obviously the repercussions for it was substantial. 2000, 2001, which, you know, obviously 2001 WCW closed their doors, which did prompt Hulk Hogan to come back in 2002 at No Way Out as Hollywood Hulk Hogan, with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. It's worth nothing that No Way Out, um, the initial spell no NWO, but you know, good little storytelling there. Um, it did proceed to make a match between The Rock and Hulk Hogan, Icon versus Icon, the old guard versus the new guard. And one of the most famous and iconic matches of all time at the Sky Dome in Canada. Um, I would make the argument that it should have been Stone Cold, but was he really?
Well, Stone Cold didn't. He chose not to do it. He was offered the match. He decided not to do it and decided that he felt that Scott Hall was a better match chemistry wise and story wise.
I think it was an.
So that's how I ended up with The Rock.
You know, I don't think I have to explain this or that people wouldn't believe me when I say this. Stone Cold was 1A in WWE. Was The Rock a big part of WWE? Was he incredibly famous? Did he make a lot of money for the company? 100%. But The Rock was never 1A. Stone Cold was always 1A. And
well, Stone Cold was one. No, it was. I would say it wasn't even a 1A, 1B. It was like 1A and 1AA. Because I'm going to let you know right now, you may have not thought that, but to the majority of people who are casuals, he's up there, bro. There are people who say, I stopped watching wrestling when The Rock left. Not when Austin left, when The Rock left. That's how much pull he had.
You do realize that The Rock left 1 month after Stone Cold left, right?
But I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying not like that literal. I'm just talking about like people stopped watching when they could no longer visually see The Rock on TV. No matter when he left.
Well, again, as much as he's a big star, I don't think Stone Cold wanted to yap to Hogan, and I don't think Hogan wanted to yap to Stone Cold, for whatever reason. But it's still one of the, like I said, most iconic matches. I mean, so much so that The Rock, who was the babyface in the match, the people turned on him, and they were very much pro Hulk Hogan, and they wanted Hulk Hogan. They cheered Hulk Hogan over The Rock. So it kind of just tells you, where the crowd was. So much so that they actually turned Hogan face the next night on Raw, which was the longest standing ovation of all time, like 6-7 minutes. Like it went into the commercial break for how long it went. But he did don the yellow and red once again, and literally 1 month later, he would win the undisputed WWE Championship from Triple H. So, I mean, still very much over. Even, I'm pretty sure he's well into his 50s he's in his 50s at this point, no?
Huh, I thought he beat Taker for the title, but
No, it was, he, Taker beat him for the title at Judgment Day, I believe, the month after?
mm, I want to say, I mean, could be right, but I mean, for him to be that, come back and then just get the title like right after it's bananas.
Yeah. Um, he would go on to, he would wrestle, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, um, the Un-Americans, Bill Edge and Billy and Chuck. I mean, he won tag team championships with Edge, which sounds like just a very random fact, but it did indeed happen. Um, Kind of seems like Hulk Hogan is just all over WWE, and I think he maybe had more matches in this 2002 run than he did his whole WCW run. I digress. Um, he would go on to wrestle Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 19. I don't think a lot of people actually talk about this match, but I would say that this wasn't a bad match. It was actually a pretty good match, if you remember it, Kaliko.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. I mean, Vince played the part.
Hulk Hogan would take a step back from WWE. There would be this guy named Mr. America that would show up, do some shit. I think he's related to El Grande Americano. You tell me. I don't know. Um, but yeah, shortly after he would leave, he would make a return to New Japan in 2003. He wrestled Masahiro Chono at the Tokyo Dome. Um, that was famously the time when he said that he would consider going to TNA, and Jeff Jarrett hit him in the head with the guitar, saying, we don't want you, yada yada. He would then go back to WWE in 2005, get into the WWE Hall of Fame, obviously very much warranted for him. He would feud with, he would make a, he would make an appearance at WrestleMania 21 where he beat up Mohammed Hassan. He would team with Shawn Michaels the next month at Backlash. And then the very next night on Raw, he would make an appearance where Shawn Michaels would super kick him, prompting a SummerSlam match, which is still very controversial today. Rumor and innuendo believes that it was supposed to be a trilogy of matches, Hogan going over in the first, Michaels in the second. I don't remember who they said would win the third, but obviously, clearly it would have been Hogan. Um, Issues between the Heartbreak Kid and Hogan only made it a one-time match. I think that him doing the Larry King Live segment, Shawn Michaels, um, kind of went up Hogan's ass the wrong way. Um, but yeah, the match was interesting. It could have been a little bit better. It was a very melodramatic on Shawn Michaels' part. It's just kind of fun to see that rebellious 97 Shawn Michaels is still in Shawn Michaels in 2005. You know what I mean?
Right. I
Um,
mean, that was a wild time. I mean, then again, Sean, it was the politics, bro.
mhm. And I mean, I get where, where Shawn Michaels was coming from. You left, I stayed loyal, and then I'm jobbing to you. I mean, anybody would really have that, reaction in my eyes.
I mean, sounds like Brett and Sean as a common enemy, even though they hated each other.
um, he would then, weirdly enough, he would have a match with Randy Orton in 2008 SummerSlam. Um, he would wrestle Jerry Lawler in Memphis Wrestling in 2007, I believe. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let the Battle Begin in 2009. And then Total Nonstop Action TNA in 2009. He came in as, I believe, talent, but, it doesn't stop with talent with Hulk Hogan. He has to be, more creative control brother. I can kind of
That is
understand
true.
why,
That's true.
Vince Russo was there at the time as well. And going back to, he made, Jeff Jarrett laid down for him, didn't trust the guy. Completely understand. But he brought Bubba the fucking Love Sponge with him, so.
I mean, yeah, but then again, keep in mind, TNA does not get a national TV deal without.
Yeah. Um, at some, like in a couple of weeks, being in Impact, he would wrestle a tag team match between him and Abyss, I believe, wrestled AJ Styles and Ric Flair. That's an actual thing that happened. Um, he would go on to make the Immortal faction, which was a heel rehashing of the NWO that, once again, had too many members and squashed, younger talent and, good Hulk Hogan shit. Um, it would eventually just die out, and he would eventually just kind of go away. Like, I don't think he ever had a proper exiting with TNA. He just kind of,
TNA.
yeah. I believe at the Bound for Glory 2013, the San Diego one, um, people were expecting him to make a comeback, and he just wrote online, "I'm at the beach," and that was that was kind of his formal. I I don't give a fuck about this anymore. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
He would make some random appearances in WWE, most notably WrestleMania 30, where he got the Superdome and the Silver Dome confused. Segment
My
with,
first WrestleMania.
yeah, segment with The Rock and Stone Cold. The next year he would um, help Sting with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to take on D-Generation X.
Second WrestleMania.
I think that was his last physical appearance in WWE. Um, Very offbeat but interesting and colorful and fun for the time.
Mm-hmm.
They would do a Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair team in Saudi Arabia. Um, that happened.
Yeah, that happened.
um, and then, um, I mean, he would make random appearances here and there, yada yada. And then, um, he comes to his very last WWE appearance. Um, Raw debut on Netflix. Um, for whatever reason, you know, he gives you a lot. He gave you a lot of reasons to dislike him at the time. He got booed out of the fucking building. Um, it's kind of weird because I was at that Raw, so I did see Hulk Hogan's very last wrestling appearance, which is crazy to say. Um, I get it, but I would I would have liked to seen him get, at least one, last cheer rather than a boo. You know what I mean?
While I understand that sentiment, there were a lot that was omitted in his story, which which I which is crazy because and this is where me personally I have to come into this because it's like
We could talk about it. I mean, it's a part of his history.
well it's part of it and the whole Gawker tape and him not being admitted racist and all that stuff and the tapes and the tapes and then it didn't help that he took the Republican side stance, which he has every right to do so, and people have every right to oppose it. Um, this is where I think it's one of those things where we're such in a, and this is where it's not really good, a binary zero sum thing, right? When I was in the military, they used to say, man, it takes you 20 years to build a reputation, but it could take 30 seconds to ruin it, right? Um, and that is a part of his story. The issue that I have with most people, because here's my thing. There are some people who could care less, and I'm not here to convince people who say they could care less. There are the people who just love him and don't want to remember all the bad stuff. I'm not here to convince you as well. My biggest issue is that what I said about at the beginning, both things can exist and be true at the same time. All of us are humans, all of us are flawed. Edgar Allan Poe, great poet, married his cousin at 16. No one brings that. I'm dead serious. Married his cousin at 16. No one brings that up. They just bring that he's a great poet, right? Elvis has his issues / underage, whatever the case may be. My thing is this: is that you can both things can be true, and it just let it be part of the whole story. You can pick whether you want to love him or hate him. But you cannot just say, yeah, because of this, none of this shit matters. None of the shit that he contributed matters. Because if that's the case, then the wrestlers would not be getting paid what they get paid today. They would not be even be able to do what they are doing today as a full-time job. And that's because of Hulk Hogan. Both, I take it, me personally, I take it as an approach of, because there are people who are like moonwalking on his grave, and I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, the dude just died. I don't wish death on the guy.
Right.
However, I don't wish, I'm not tap dancing on his grave. And I'm not like I'm not breaking my heart out for it because I understand it from the Terry Bollea, the man, because he played the ideal. Hulk Hogan was the ideal of what America should be. Right. And it was played by a man who was rather flawed in that ideal. But that doesn't make the ideal less important than the man, right? The idea should be bigger than the man that's playing the ideal. The message should be bigger than the person who is portraying the message, right?
Right.
And I think everyone kind of gets hooked on the fact that he portrayed the message, that he is a flawed person, which you can, which is true, which is merited. All of it's merited, and that's where I try to tell, because it's like when I try to break this down, people think you're a Hogan. Something like that. No, he merited, his actions merited the response that you gave him, right?
Right.
And you have every right to be indifferent. And there are people who may have never experienced that side. There are people who see him as a dear friend, and those people, you cannot just tell those people to F it because of the fact of what happened, right?
Right.
And that is where it kind of, that's where I stand on it. Like, it's, yes, this guy is, without him, there's no wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he's fucked up as a flawed human being. Let that be the story, and that's just part of the chapter. You can't, both sides can't pick. Oh, okay, well, I'm just going to remember the contributions and overlook this racist shit, and the other people can't just go fuck him contributing to the positivity of wrestling because of this racist shit. You see what I'm saying? So we play this zero-sum game when it's just really both. And it's not that complicated. People think it's complicated. It's not complicated. He was a fucked up human being who actually did some good for the world. All our heroes have had that. Marvin Gaye, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. So I could go. The list goes on. Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson hated black people, but yet he passed the Civil Rights Act. I'm just telling you, like these are things. I'm dead. No, that's a real thing. He despised black people. When he became president after Kennedy died, one of the biggest things of his agenda was getting that bill passed.
Okay.
That's
your history lesson for the day, kids.
There's your history lesson for the day. But my point is that we all have, everyone thinks that they're inherently good and they're inherently evil, and in actuality, there's good and evil in all of this.
Right. Obviously we're trying to pay respects to Hulk Hogan. The man just died like a couple of days ago. I can't sit here and tell you that I'm a massive Hulk Hogan fan, that I loved his matches, that I loved the wrestler or the human being, because I didn't. I didn't necessarily like Hulk Hogan as a pro wrestler. I didn't really care about his ventures outside of pro wrestling. That's just me. When he did make a comeback to WWE, I was I don't want to say indifferent, but it could have gone, it could have stayed, it could have left. It didn't really matter to me. But it's not over my head that pro wrestling would not be pro wrestling without Hulk Hogan, and we make the discussion and the argument, who is the greatest tag team of all time? Well, the greatest tag team of all time is Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, because without them, pro wrestling would not be where it is today without the two of them. Not one, not Hulk Hogan, not Vince McMahon alone, but together they were a mega power that makes us see WWE television on Netflix, which is produced in 80 different countries. That's outstanding compared to at that time just trying to get on a local market in Hoboken was a struggle. So, and it was because of Hulk Hogan's contributions to the sport. Um, are both men incredibly flawed? Without a doubt. I'm not going to defend them, either of them. But like you said, you could take the good with the bad. He was an important part of pro wrestling history, and you can't really have pro wrestling history without Hulk Hogan. Um,
Right.
and you know, like I said, flawed human being was not the best to his family. It's just how it is. I could maybe make the argument that other wrestlers, other human beings have done worse, without the backlash, as much backlash. But that's a debate for another time. I
Well, the reason he gets that backlash is because, once again, he is the Michael Jackson of wrestling,
Right,
the most popular wrestler in wrestling. He was the biggest. He is the biggest name. I mean, you can't. The first thing wrestler when people think of when you say it is Hulk Hogan,
right. So
because that's how recognizable he is. So that's the biggest. That's the caveat. The biggest person holds that biggest responsibility. And did he carry it with grace? Some places, yes. Some places he fell short. But that comes with the territory.
right, and I mean controversy in his personal life. We even talked about it during our tribute, but there was controversy in pro wrestling as well. I mean, he wasn't a shining figure of positivity there either. But like I said, WCW doesn't become what WCW is without Hulk Hogan. Obviously, NWO, the logo recognized around the world, yada yada. Um, I think people could maybe just be a little bit more respectful online, but who has decency on Twitter and Reddit at this time?
Oh, the internet got no chill.
Yeah,
It ain't even close. Boy, if you loved Hogan, you might have wanted to stay offline on that day, boy.
yeah. Like, I mean, I want to say keep it respectful, but it's the internet, so they're not. But I mean, just to do what people are doing online, literally hours after he's dead, is I personally just find disgusting. Like,
Out of pocket.
yeah, like you don't need to voice your opinion hours after the man died. We could say let the people remember him the way that they wanted to. Let his family grieve, and maybe in a couple of weeks you could say what the shit that you want to say.
Right.
It doesn't need to be said now. I don't think your opinion's going to change about him in a week or two anyway, so it is what it is. But, like I said, complicated individual. I know at the tail end of his life, his family wasn't necessarily talking to him. But if you believe the reports that are being told, he was able to talk to his daughter, Brooke, have a hashing out and burying the hatchet, whatever you want to call it, getting that closure at the end of his life. And hopefully that, if that is true, it helps her as well. Um, so yeah, just a sad end to a controversial figure in life in pro wrestling as well. Um, and yeah, it's funny that we're living in a world where Vince McMahon isn't the head of WWE and Hulk Hogan isn't even here anymore. We're like in a new chapter of pro wrestling, and it's just insane to me that everything that we know is drastically changing. You know what I mean? Do you feel that way
Well,
too?
yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, with Hogan, it just felt like, uh, I'll put it this way: Hogan, I can't. How can I put it? The one that shocked me the most was Warrior because I was just like literally just saw him, so
It was
that's what
literally the
threw
next
me
day.
off. Like it was literally the day after, and so, but Hogan, in a sense, it just feels like if you're like within my generation, it just and you're a big wrestling fan, that's like a huge chunk of the childhood gone.
Right.
Because that is I mean, how can I put it? That is a huge not through the needle of wrestling history gone.
Right.
And if it, and I can only imagine when Ric Flair pops out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, when you're thinking about like the last greats, like not even, I mean, all of them are great, but those bigger than life recognizable guys,
Oh yeah.
it hits a little different.
And we've almost lost Ric Flair a couple of times at this point.
If you would have told me Ric Flair would live longer than Hulk Hogan, bro,
Yeah.
Ric Flair was on his deathbed a handful of times. Hulk Hogan, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere.
I don't want to say it came out of nowhere. There has been reports that he has been, having some health issues. But there was conflicting reports. People were saying that it was don't take it for what it's worth. It's lies, yada yada.
Very conflicting because
Yeah.
some said it's been, some says it was a sudden, some say he went to the hospital and there was nothing else they could do. They set up a hospital. So I think it's a bit of both.
And but we were talking about Ozzy Osbourne earlier in the show. He Ozzy Osbourne very much lived his life. He lived life to the fullest. And Hulk Hogan made it to 71, where most pro wrestlers don't make it past 60. And I mean, you can't necessarily say that Hulk Hogan didn't live where fewer men have dared to dream. He did.
Yeah.
He lived a full life. Obviously at the end, he had like 25 surgeries in 10 years. Like, I mean, that's insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't imagine that he wasn't in pain. So, you know, bittersweet to say, maybe is the best word to say it. If he's not suffering, if he's not in pain, I'm happy that, he's not anymore. He lived a full life. He made it to 71. He got some closure with his daughter. And, he is the greatest he is one of the greatest and most influential wrestlers of all time. So, yeah, I think that's where we'll end it. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Hulk Hogan's family and friends. Now, I think we should take a quick word from our sponsors and then get into the news. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake. First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with the news. Like we were.
That wasn't the news.
That was the tribute.
I mean, that felt like. I mean, that show he is the news.
In memoriam. Going. I don't even know how to do this transition. Cora Jade has officially announced that she is leaving pro wrestling. Which is not a surprise considering, she attributes her leaving pro wrestling to quote unquote mental health. But you could definitely still see her titties on OnlyFans. So she's definitely still making a good chunk of change as well. So I mean, good for her, but I think everybody kind of knew that there was only enough shelf life for her wrestling career, considering what she was doing on OnlyFans. No.
I mean, who knows? Maybe. She saw that bag the first month and was like, I mean, it's like, fuck this.
I mean, yes, you're absolutely right about that. But I think it just kind of depends on your love of the game and love of pro wrestling, because Toni Storm made more money in her first month of doing OnlyFans than I probably think she made in AEW as a whole. And she left that to become Timeless Toni Storm and probably have one of the best runs in pro wrestling. Cement her legacy. So, I do think that that all comes down to, are you doing pro wrestling for the money? Are you doing pro wrestling for the fame? Or are you doing pro wrestling for the love of the game? You know what I mean?
Well, no one does it just to live in an apartment. So, I mean, so there's that. But you can also understand that there's a mental fortitude in loving the process, and that's the key. I think it's just you got to be in love with the process, whether it goes up, down, or indifferent. The process,
right?
And we've interviewed enough people where it's like where people have been doing it for 20, 30 years and they never get big, but they love it because they just love the process.
Right. What, Uncle Dave, I think it was Uncle Dave that, was kind of commenting on this, that, Mandy Rose kind of made a new model for female pro wrestlers that they could maybe follow. And that is, get into pro wrestling, get on TV, build a following, get out of pro wrestling, and then make an OnlyFans. And that, I don't want to say Uncle Dave is right on that, but I do think that Uncle Dave is right on that.
I don't think he's right, because if Mandy had it her way, she would have did both. She was just cornered into one or the other.
If that was true, Mandy Rose would still be wrestling on the independents right now.
I mean, she saw the bag from the first month with full time and was like, "Fuck this."
And I literally just mentioned Tony Storm's picking pro wrestling over OnlyFans. So,
But I mean, but Tony's in a company where I'm pretty sure. Well, AEW is more okay with it. Fucking, what is it? Megan Bain has an OnlyFans. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I believe Sky Blue opened an OnlyFans while she was a part of AEW.
do you see my point here? Now you get there.
Right. But we can both agree that AEW is not of WWE's caliber. More people watch WWE.
Well, it's not on the caliber because it's not a what's the word I'm looking for here? They're not a publicly traded company, so they ain't got to worry about shit.
Right, but the only, and I don't want to say the only reason, but probably, a good portion of the reason people subscribe to Tony Storm, Mandy Rose, Cora Jade is because of WWE popularity. More casuals watch it.
I mean, you got to be good looking too, bro. You almost had me, but no.
I mean, WWE has.
Nah.
I mean, WWE. When's the last person WWE hired that you said, yeah, looks wise now?
That's my point. You're proving my point.
So I mean, if WWE is hiring attractive people, but I mean, when haven't they? I mean, you're proving my point. Like, because they're attractive, they get on WWE, they get WWE credibility, and then when they leave, they bring that to OnlyFans. But the point that I'm trying to make here is, it's a scary thought that this is legitimately going to be a model for women to say, I'm only getting into pro wrestling to, make bank on OnlyFans. Because you want people to actually be there rather than, having intentions. And I don't know. Pro wrestling fans could smell bullshit, a mile away.
Well, if that's the case, Ronda Rousey would have one, and we know that ain't happening. So the point I'm making is that, like, you gotta love the process. It all goes down to loving the process. If people really love the process, they're gonna stick through it thick and thin. Even if they love the process, they're still gonna do it because, like I just said, AEW has a gang of the motherfuckers that are doing it. It ain't like it's you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's commonplace now. And that's where in AEW you're gonna see more of that. WWE, it's a little bit different because they're trying to push themselves as a family-friendly show that, you know what I'm saying? Because keep in mind, kids have cell phones, they can look it up.
Right. Well, I mean,
so they're very delicate with it.
I'm just saying that it's going to be harder to weed out those people that you generally want to be there. And we're going to maybe see a more incline of female pro wrestlers, especially on the independents, trying to get the WWE, with only that main goal and intentions in their mind.
I doubt it, because if that's the case, then, I mean, the amount of women that came and went in WWE in the last couple of years would have been done it. I mean, BFAB had one. I mean,
But that was prior to
who?
WWE, right?
I mean, it was probably after she got released. So I'm thinking BFAB. Who else? Let's see, Cora Jade. Who else got? Who else? It's some women that got released. Shayna Baszler.
Not going to make money on that.
But you see my point. But that's the point I'm making. You know what I'm saying? Ronda Rousey.
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville. Damn, who else? I feel like I'm missing some.
Isla Dawn.
Isla Dawn for sure.
But she hasn't yet.
Sarah Logan. You say what?
But she hasn't.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. These are people I'm naming that could have and didn't.
Unfortunately,
although Sonya Deville's on the fence, she's on the fence. So.
And I mean, she has the in with Mandy as well. So, I mean, Tegan Knox made an OnlyFans to crickets. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't work for everybody.
What's her face? What's her name? Lacey Evans got one popping because she doing collabs with Mandy Rose. It's through line. Look at that, Mandy Rose, the Hulk Hogan.
Well,
bringing it back.
I found this statistic very interesting. There has been no WWE champions born in the 1990s. I believe the earliest WWE champion born was Roman Reigns in 1987. Compared to to AEW, where MJF was 25, so born in the 1990s when he was AEW champion.
Seth Rollins wasn't born in the 90s?
He was not.
Holy shit.
How do you feel about that statistic?
It just goes to show that for the WWE, your prime as a wrestler is in your 40s.
Well, does that maybe mean that the people that... Well, I mean, back in, like, the 2000s, I mean, Randy Orton was 24 when he won the World Heavyweight Championship.
He had it for how long?
Brock Lesnar was 25. The Rock was, I want to say, 26. I think Stone Cold was a little on the older side when he won his first WWE Championship. So, is it just these guys and girls are not ready at this time, personality-wise? I mean, there's obviously exceptions to the rules. These people are just not meeting that exception yet. You know what I mean?
I mean, let me see.
Batista was
EO was born in the 90s.
But we're talking about WWE champion. And not even World Heavyweight champion.
WWE Women's Champion accounts, man.
It does not. We're talking about the title Hulk Hogan carried.
Oh, you're talking about the WWE.
Could we agree that it's easier to become women's champion than it is to become WWE champion?
I mean, you're hot enough. But then again, in the 30s, like I said, if you're in the WWE in your 30s, I'm trying to think who is on that roster now that was born in the 90s.
The ones that I heard were Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes.
So they just got into NXT. I mean, they had just gotten NXT, what, 2022? Oh, no, probably, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, if
So
we're getting
you're,
super technical, Bo Dallas was born in 1990.
yeah, but Bo Dallas, I mean, he was NXT champion, which kind of counts, but that don't count in this, not in this, the one that Hogan carried. So my thing is this, that championship, you're not going to get it. In today's WWE, it's hella hard to get it super young because there are so many people who are rocking it on all cylinders above you in their sleep.
And I mean,
I could have swore Seth Rollins was a 90s baby, but
no.
but he probably is an 80s baby.
Seth Rollins was born in 1986.
Yeah, so he's an 80s baby. So yeah, so let's keep that in mind. Your in his first title was what, 2014?
Yeah, 2015.
No, 2015. So he was what, 31?
Well, I mean, he's 39 right now, so yeah, that sounds about right.
So that's what I'm saying. So, but keep in mind that was during the time when they were yearning for that talent, that younger, new brood talent, which they were building around Roman, Seth, Dean. Now I expect Braun to get it in the next 2-3 years.
Do you think Braun will get it in the next 2-3 years?
I could see a scenario in which Braun wins, Seth cashes in on him, and thus brings that breakup. But I mean, I could also see him. Honestly, he's a favorite to win the Royal Rumble next year. The way that they're positioning him.
True. I mean,
So it's not out of the realm of possibility for him.
what about Solo? Solo was born in the 90s. And, I feel like if we got this version of Solo last year, we would be Solo would be in a very different position than he is right now in WWE.
Nah, you needed that solo of that version to appreciate the solo of this version.
You think? Because I feel like after he lost to Ulafala to Roman, if his last name wasn't Fatu, he was probably on the chopping block.
Well, and that's my point. Like he literally, honestly, I think this was always in him. They just had him play a role.
Right. But that role didn't necessarily work.
And now he's doing what he naturally does, and that dude is the craziest guy on the roster.
He is. Another guy is Jacob Fatu, born in the 90s.
Oh, it's coming. So if out of those three, Breaker and Fatu are the most likely, because the rumor and innuendo, the building blocks for the next generation is Fatu, Jacob, Breaker, Ripley, which is weird to say Ripley, but I guess Ripley is that through line like Charlotte in the sense that the gatekeeper of credibility.
You do realize that Rhea Ripley's only 26.
But think how much she accomplished up there now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. Like that's crazy. That's what makes it crazy. She's 26, and she's had a hell of a lot of accomplishments. And they say she's a building block. Like what the fuck? Like, she's the future. I'm like, I must have missed something because she's like right now.
Talk about when she's ready to retire. That OnlyFans will be popping records.
I don't think she would need to do it. She got enough bread in her account.
Very true. I'm just talking about WWE overall. Chuck Williams, in all honesty, he's been he's been firing on all cylinders as of late with what he's doing in TNA NXT. So, I mean, if he brings this, intensity to in this version of himself to the main roster, he could maybe really make a big impression real soon. I mean, he was born in '94, so I mean, he fits the '90s description that we're talking about. What's your thoughts on that?
True.
I mean, I think he'd
to be quite honest,
Carmelo.
he's the only person that's a '90s baby that is holding a major championship between WWE and TNA.
And it's not even a WWE title.
That's my point.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. I am genuinely curious who will be the first person to hold that title from the '90s.
Breaker.
One of those people will not be Travis Scott. If you believe rumor and innuendo, he had a falling out with WWE, will not be coming back, will not be having a match for WWE, will not be doing anything with WWE. If this is actually true, if this is the last we've seen of Travis Scott, hallelujah.
I mean, I was there when it took him 8 minutes to get down that goddamn ramp, bro. I knew that was it then. I'm like, bro. And it ain't helping that, Pusha T and the clips are in his ass. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's not a good year for Travis. Get with WWE, then get his ass yoked from WWE, then getting whooped in this beef. So,
I think WWE just fucked up to begin from the very beginning. Kendrick Lamar would have been a hell of a lot better.
Oh, Kendrick ain't doing that. Oh, no. Kendrick ain't that guy. I think he could do it, but the problem is that I think Kendrick is out of their price range.
I mean, if we're talking about price range, Bad Bunny would have been more expensive than Kendrick, but
Bad Bunny would do it for a good price for the love of the game.
Right. So you have to have, and I feel that was the only reason Travis was there. He wanted to be there. If you're just getting somebody to come because you want them there, that's a big difference from people coming to you. Case in point, Jelly Roll.
Travis wanted to be there. He just didn't want to do the do. You see, there's a difference. He was there. He just wasn't participating, if that makes sense. He showed up at the party, but he didn't bring any snacks. You know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't contribute to the cookout. Well, Bad Bunny was ready to contribute to the cookout. Hell, Jelly Roll, from what I've seen from my peeps, he seems to be ready to contribute to the cookout.
Well, he didn't contribute to the cookout, but he definitely clogged the toilet. He fucked up Cody's ear and his eye.
That was when I knew he was done. Between I'm just telling you, when he lifted Cody up, and John Cena, I've never seen John Cena more pissed at a motherfucker trying to push Cody down. Right. I'm just telling people, go back and look at that tape. With John Cena's face, when he was pushing Travis, well, he was like his face when he had to grab Cody's head and put him back down. Like, bitch, if you don't look this motherfucker down.
I mean, that could have been the reason why, there was a falling out, was because, obviously Cody is a big part of WWE. I don't think he would take too kindly to somebody bursting his eardrum, you know, right before his biggest match of all time. And I mean,
no, Travis was high and drunk, and he just was not paying attention to cues, and that's the other issue.
Right, and I mean
because this motherfucker walked down the WrestleMania ramp. I'm just telling you right now, if you're going to interfere in a WrestleMania match, the last thing you need to do is to take 10 minutes walking down the WrestleMania ramp with a belt that no one gives a fuck about. Just saying.
Yeah. Who do you think who took longer to get down to the ring, Travis or Edge?
Travis by a mile.
Gotcha.
Travis by a country mile. Because at least when Edge came out, he ran to his spot. And I mean, he took a minute. But Travis, man, 15 minutes of the match was added because his ass took his sweet ass time.
Alright.
Just saying.
Well, that will conclude our coverage of the news. And we are wrestling with TNA Bound for Glory. It took place last Sunday in Allman, New York at the USB Arena. Attendance was a record-breaking 7,623. It's funny that TNA is ecstatic about getting a number under 10,000 while WWE is doing 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. I digress. It was big for them. But that being said, this was a pretty solid paid preview, if I do say so myself. It had I think it had everything you wanted in a TNA paid preview. It had the names, it had some shock value. For Slammiversary, obviously some bigger, TNA names as well. For me, this worked. What was your thoughts on the show as a whole?
I mean, I thought it was solid, and it's all of this as much as people like are bitching about the results. It's all leading to a bigger payout, and that's what we want.
Well, that brings us to the first match. Mustafa Ali defeated Cedric Alexander in 14 minutes 30 seconds. I would have liked a match with a little bit more heat in it to kind of start the show. I did think that this did maybe go a little bit longer than necessarily should have. But all in all, a good match. I mean, Cedric, Tasha Steele, she got like fucking height on that lumbar check from Alexander. So, I mean, kudos to her.
Oh,
for
yes,
taking
she
that.
did. Oh, she got some motherfucking ups.
But, this match was stacked against Alexander. Mustafa looks, like a chicken shit heel.
And I told you his faction was fucking. He had a faction. You thought I was playing?
you were right. I thought his security guards were just little buddies, but they're actually pro wrestlers. They're pro wrestle in pro wrestling.
Get it? Well, you remember the fallout from when we went to LA?
Right.
He wrestled one of the guys. That was so. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? You sat there and saw the fallout.
I just thought that they were security guards. Like, enhancement talent. I didn't really know that they were
thought,
actual pro wrestlers.
he
But yeah,
thought they were J&J security up in this bitch. Like, wait a minute.
legitimately, yes. Um,
Ay, ay, ay.
your thoughts on the match?
I mean, the highlight was her taking that backbreaker,
Yeah,
that lumbar check. It was a good way to end it because he got the receipt, but at the price he paid for it left him open for the 450, which was the finish. That was a great finish
definitely.
because everybody was popping off of her flipping in the air like Gumby that they didn't pay attention to the 450 splash, which was good.
How many stars do you give this one?
I mean that ending. I mean 4. That was a solid ending.
I give it 3.5. And like I said, I felt like it went a little longer than it necessarily had to.
What, 14 minutes? It's the opening match. You gotta give it to him.
I know, but like I said, it could have been a match with more heat behind it. But that's just my opinion. Now, did Uncle Dave review the show, or was he too high? Was he still coming out of the coma that All In put him in?
I mean, let's take a look. I mean, let's hope he did. But he did indeed.
Okay. So,
It's TNA.
yeah.
Full disclosure.
And I feel like this is wrestling that he would definitely like, but because it's TNA, he's not going to give them the kudos that they kind of deserve. I'm gonna say that he gave this one a 4.
Lower.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay. So me and Uncle Dave were vibing. Alright, then we have, The System, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Dirty Fandango, Wash Your Ass Dango, and fucking Matt Cardona for some reason. They wrestled, Dark State, Leon Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Sugar Cigar, and James Cutler. And their first ever loss, Dark State, was in a TNA event in 6 minutes and 45 seconds. If it was, this was to get the System, the New York boys over. I mean, they succeeded. I didn't think it did Dark State any favors, but it kind of just tells you that WWE does not give a shit if they lose on a random somebody else's match.
Well, they're relatively new still, so
I mean,
it's not gonna kill them.
when was the Shield losing matches in WWE when they beat Chalico?
I mean, but the shoe was on the roster. It's a totally different animal. From one, it was, well, with the exception of Roman, it was 2 indie guys who already had a ton of experience. And 2, like, two totally different groups of people.
Well, I do feel like this match maybe understood the assignment. Get in, get out.
Make it quick and get the New York boys over. That's exactly what that was.
100%. That's your thoughts?
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 6 minutes for a multi-man tag match is hella short.
I mean, 8 men, 6 minutes. I mean, that's not even a minute a person.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They got that hot tag in like half the time.
So, how many stars you give this one?
2. It did what it needed to do, but 6 minutes, you can't determine anything in 6 minutes.
Now, funny enough, I subtracted a half a star for the last match being too long. I'm going to add a half a star because I like the length. 2.5.
Oh God.
Alright, Uncle Dave probably gave this a 1.5.
Higher.
2?
Higher.
2.5.
2.25.
Oh, fuck me. With the quarters. Um, Indy Hartwell defeated Tessa Blanchard with Elisa Fox in her corner in 15 minutes 30 seconds. I'd say this was a good match. It did definitely tell a story. It made Indy look a lot better than she ever did in WWE. But maybe that's just a testament of how good Tessa is. But what?
See, I be yelling Tessa, and Tessa catching hell too because she was talking about Hogan, and they're like, takes one to know one. I'm like, you motherfucker. Oh, the internet got no chill, bro. I'm not.
I mean, I feel we knew that would have been coming. No.
I mean, I'm like, yeah, you might as well have kept your man. Look,
Yeah. But the match, Kaliko.
but the match, I thought Tesla would win, but Indy obviously needed a little bit more. So, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with it. Sets up a feud if they choose to go that path between them two, because it seems like that's gonna be the only thing popping off, based on the results of later on. So,
Yeah. How many stars do you give this one?
a 3. They work together, especially as two of the stronger or taller women on the roster. They actually gelled well.
I give it a 3 as well. Thought it was a solid match for sure. Winner takes all match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship and the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane to the beat. You don't even have to move your feet. With Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix defeated A1 Masha Slamovich in 12 minutes 45 seconds. Everybody knows I'm very supportive of Masha. Obviously funded the show. Interviewed her. Love Masha. Never go against her. Kalika. Um, last time we saw her live.
I'm objective. I told you what was gonna happen. I don't know why you acting brand new, motherfucker.
You blatantly was cheering for Tessa against Masha in person, and that's all I'll say. Yeah.
It was to get heat from the fans, you know.
Sure it was. Yeah, love Masha. Without a doubt, knew Masha was not coming out of this with no 2 titles, unfortunately. I mean, that was somewhat predictable. I didn't like that they protected JC as much as they did. Fallon and Jasmine, interfered at the very beginning of the match. They made her look a lot more cowardly when, like, literally, like 2 weeks earlier, she wrestled Jordan, and the interference only really came at the end of the match. So I didn't think that they did JC any favors with how the match was structured. It was announced that Masha was supposed to come out with Zaya Brookside and um, Lee, Zia Lee, they did not come out with Masha, and they did not come out until like the tail end of the match, and they couldn't even get the gate open for them to take Fallon and Jasmine out of the match. They literally had to cut the cut back to the ring because they could not get that done. Um, but I mean, it got done what it needed to do. Protected Masha. JC gets the W. Um, she still looks weak, but you know she's double champion. So, what say you, Kalika?
I mean, I've seen this enough times. If you see the fall off from NXT, it actually solidified what I'd said was going to happen. Is that JC thinks she's Diana Ross and the rest is the Supremes, and it did a good job in doing that because what's happening is you can't have a downfall without an apex. So right now, this is her apex, and being the woman to carry, I mean, to do something that, and she cut a hell of a promo after being the person, the only person to hold the TNA and NXT championships simultaneously. She's etched in history forever. You want that because that's going to be the beginning of her downfall, her ego, because she's already cutting promos of, oh, I did it by myself, knowing damn well, you know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, where it's supposed to make her look weak. It doesn't make her look weak. It makes her look exactly what she's supposed to be.
Right.
A person who is beatable, but she's so used to manipulating people to help her, i.e. Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, that she just thinks that that's just a part of the assignment rather than her resting on her own wrestling will. And that's the story.
Hypothetically speaking, do you think that Fallon should be the one to take the belt off of JC?
If it's going to get there, I don't think it would be. I would think Fallon. I don't think Fallon's going to take the belt off JC. I think Fallon's going to be the reason JC loses. Because the way that they're already. It's either. Although I could make a case for Nix. Because.
No.
No, now listen to what I'm saying. No. Nix costing her the title.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not Nix beating the title. Nix costing her the title.
Okay.
Because of the fact that they did this whole little backstage thing where JC is already sowing division between them two. So I could see Nix costing it. Although it would be a better callback for Henley to do it because of the fact that Henley was champion and there wasn't really support for her from JC as champion.
Right.
So there's a great callback to be done there. But back to this match. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. It made JC look hateable to the point where she's yelling at Carlos. And I love Carlos. I met Carlos. Carlos, great guy. Great guy. His lady is bad, smoking, and super cool. But yeah, he just was not having a good night that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got cussed out and as such. You see what I'm saying? So it's so I mean, it did what it's supposed to do. Made JC hateable.
How many stars you give it?
More hateable than what she should already be.
True. How many stars you give this one?
JC made history. I mean, 3 is baseline, but I'll give it 3.5 because it made history.
I will agree with that. Yeah, 3.5. Um, TNA X Division Championship match. Leon Slater defeated Moose in 15 minutes and 34 seconds. I liked at the base of this match, history colliding with, Leon trying to become the youngest NXT, TNA X Division champion, while Moose is trying to look for, the record held by Austin Aries. So that collision was good. Um, there was a lot of good spots. Um, I'm not sure if I agree with Leon as the champion or Leon as the future. He doesn't necessarily seem like an outstanding personality, especially compared to Moose. But I mean, I'm willing to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, they kind of strapped the rocket to this guy's ass, so I think it's just a kind of matter of wait and see. But what say you, Kaliko?
It's one of those things where it's like a style make fights, and honestly, when Moose won the X Division title, I'm like, why? He's like this big 6 foot, goddamn damn near 250, 260 solid guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a big cinder block. When you think X Division, you're thinking like cruiserweight, 210, 220, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself was, yeah, a whole thing. With that being said, uh, okay, match. Leon breaks through that proverbial glass ceiling that he was dealing with, and wins the title, which actually helps Moose because now Moose can focus on what he was talking about Thursday. So I mean, the match got Slater over. Then AJ comes out and gives him the rub of the century in his eyes.
I mean, it kind of is.
And the fact that you saw like when AJ Pop came out and how he was jumping up and down like a kid on Christmas, I was like, oh shit. So that's what I mean by loving the process. Even with him being a wrestler, he still is like, you can saw the kid come out of him. Gotta love the process, man.
And I think, I mean, that was an incredible moment in AJ Styles coming back after 12 years um, to, lead the house that AJ Styles built. Putting over Leon. I mean, again, obviously they're going with this guy, so it makes sense putting, the greatest TNA wrestler of all time to put him over. Essentially, dare I say, the Hulk Hogan of TNA. Um, you know, putting um, Leon over. So, I mean, we'll see from where things go from here. But yeah, like I said, incredible moment just to see AJ Styles back in the TNA ring.
Yeah.
But how many stars you give this one?
I mean, styles make fights. Big man beats little man. 3.5.
I give it 3. It was okay. I mean, maybe with the added AJ Styles moment, 3.5. But yeah, the match itself was just 3. Oh, when's the last time we did Dave Meltzer's reviews on these? We didn't do Indy
Uh,
or JC or this match.
yeah, that was the last one. So we'll let you guess those 3.
So Indy and Tessa was 3.5,
Lower.
2.5,
Lower.
2.
1.25.
Damn.
This.
No love for Tessa or Andy. Um,
No love. No snuggies for the babies.
JC and Masha, I think we'll get a 2.
Higher.
2.5.
Higher.
2 7/5.
There you go.
Gotcha. How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
I think that this.
I'm not gonna defend. I'm not defending it. It's just it doesn't.
I think Uncle Dave would have liked Leon Slater and Moose. 3 7/5.
Higher.
4.25.
Higher.
4.5.
4.5.
Damn. Okay, Uncle Dave getting off. 4-way tag team ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, defeated the Nemitz, Ryan and Nick. And the Rascals, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and First Class, AJ Francis and Casey Navarro, in 17 minutes 30 seconds. Pretty good ladder match. AJ Francis took like the nastiest spill on a ladder that I've seen, and I think that he may have broken everything from the waist down. Hopefully he's okay. Um, I think it was funny that they broke all the ladders and that they had to bring like a rope ladder down from the top of the arena. I thought that was interesting. So points on them for doing something new in a ladder match that I haven't seen. I think the right tag team won as well, because why do we need Dolph Ziggler as a tag team champion other than to promote his brother? Um, so yeah, this actually worked pretty well for me. What say you?
I mean, and TNA must have worked Devon out of his claws because now they got this match coming. Like, okay, we'll give the Hardys the titles only if Devon wrestles. like, like what? Like, like, wait, what? But but I mean, to get to that, yeah, the Hardys had to get them back. So I guess we're gonna get them one more again. Hardys and Duds, one more again.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I mean, it'd be cool to see the Hardys and the Dudleys one last time, especially if it's the Dudleys' last match.
True, if it's, I mean, I felt that their last match was like 39 matches ago, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, it doesn't seem like the Hardys are slowing down anytime soon. So, yeah.
Does not at all.
How many stars do you give this one?
Solid 3.
I'd say 3.5, just because, like I said, did new and interesting things that I haven't seen done a million times in a ladder match. So for that reason, you know, that extra boost. Right. Uncle Dave. 3.5.
Uncle Dave, 3.5. Survey says Oh, survey says I almost lost it. 3.5 higher.
4.
Lower.
3 7/5.
The 7/5 gets you.
Yeah. 3-way
Brother.
match for the TNA World Championship. Trick Williams defeated Joe Henry and Mike Santana in 13 minutes and 15 seconds. It was a good match, slightly predictable when Trick Williams got quote unquote injured during the match. You kind of know how that was going to end. I could have made the argument you could have put the belt on Santana in this setting, considering where they were. And the crowd was hot for him anyway. But, I understand where. And I really hope this is the case, and that TNA just doesn't TNA it up. Trick needs to lose the belt at Bound for Glory. If he continues after Bound for Glory, then, it's TNAing it up. But yeah, I understand where things are working with Trick. Trick is, firing on all cylinders. So much so that he had a segment with The Undertaker on, NXT last Tuesday. Even putting some heat on The Undertaker as well. Kind of challenging him. Which you kind of haven't seen for a while. Made you think Undertaker gonna come out of retirement? But no.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
As Trick said,
He
owes
me for the last one. But anyway.
Yeah, those knees has an expiration date, as Trick said. But yeah, semi-decent main event to a pretty decent show. What say you?
And the reason being is you want the people to clamor for. It's the Moxley effect. You hate him so much that you want him to lose. You want to show up to see him lose. Hendry taking the pin shows you that Santana is due to get it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's why I say don't fret on it. I know people are thinking, well, why wouldn't you do it in New York? Because if you did it then, Bound for Glory wouldn't have the payoff. And you want the payoff at your WrestleMania, not at your Backlash, your Survivor Series, if you will.
I would say SummerSlam.
So, same thing. It's the same fucking thing. So, to me, it worked. Trick faking the leg injury and all the refs coming out. Oh, bro, even though you knew it was going that way, that still doesn't mean that wasn't cold. And the reason I liked it because it was cold, because he got the belt, took the pin, ran out, and guess who he has to raise his hand? Our man Carlos. God damn it, Carlos.
It was not a good night for Carlos.
Carlos just catching these strays in these streets. Like, I just want to manage a company, man. But to no avail. So it made sense. Trick got the hand raise at the end of the night, and great way of ending the show with Carlos just looking down, just like, what the fuck? Because in his mind, that could have been a meme where it was like, I thought we were away from the AEW deal. You could have made that argument, but It'll turn around. It's bound to. So that's why I'm not really worried about it.
How many stars?
But overall, a solid 3-way. It did what it needed to do in getting Trick the win. The real setup is for Santana versus Trick at Bound for Glory. So, with that being said, this is a 3.5 match.
I agree with that. 3.5 works. Alright, Uncle Dave. I say we're vibing with Uncle Dave. 3.5.
Lower.
3.
Lower.
2 7/5.
2 7/5.
Interesting.
How dare he? What?
He don't whoop that Trick.
I mean, that entrance was dope though. Whoop that Trick, Trick. Whoop that Trick.
Oh, it went too long. Especially after Santana's entrance, like, it was just wrestle already. And I like both guys.
I mean, don't do my boy like don't do the choir like that. The choir thought he came out long as fuck.
Yeah. The show was 3.5 hours, and I felt like that extra half hour was just the choir and Santana's entrance for how long it went.
Man, don't you dare compare that to fucking Travis Scott's shit. Like, that was long.
That was a run-in. For a run-in, it was long, yes. But if that
No,
was...
for anything, that was long. I mean, Undertaker 33 was long.
Well, I mean, it felt long. At least, I mean, Joe Henry literally just did his entrance, got in the ring, and literally sat there with a cold beverage and a magazine while the rest of everything happened.
Well, it ain't his fault. His entrance, he made his own song. He made it like that. Shit, it ain't like he fucking, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna come out to a song he wrote?
I mean, he could have sang it while he came out.
That is true. See?
Played the guitar. I mean, maybe he knows somebody in New York. You could have got somebody to sing it. You know, somebody, a big name in New York. I don't know. Jennifer Lopez.
Jesus, no.
I know, but she's the only one I could think about that's a singer from New York.
Man, please. You better off getting Fabulous than getting goddamn.
There you go. Fabulous.
Like, Jesus Christ.
How many stars you give this match?
I already said 3.5.
Oh, no. This show as a whole.
The show as a whole.
Thumbs up,
thumbs
down.
down the middle.
Yeah.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt because the show in itself, while we had solid parts, was it a total thumbs up? No, like in between thumbs up and thumbs in the middle, like the little 3/4 way.
Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
There we go. Because I understood that this isn't. This is not where they're going. This is just a means to get to where they're going.
Right. No, I agree with that. Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Alright. That will conclude our coverage of TNA Slammiversary. And we are wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 35 review. not gonna do preview because there's a lot of matches. So and there's a lot. We still have a lot to talk about as well. So we are 5 days into the G1, Kaliko. What has been your thoughts on the G1 so far?
Well, the A block is kind of jumping the way we thought it would jump. Like, so, I mean, Sushi, Evil, and I forgot who's the other. I forgot the third person who's in a three-way tie. Last I saw, last I checked, it was a three-way tie. And let me pull it up real quick.
I mean, are you surprised?
There we go. Three-way tie between Bolton Oleg, which I did not see coming. Suji and Evil are in tie for first place.
A block.
In A block, not too far behind Tanahashi, Taichi, Yumi Yura, and Ryoi Oiwa with 4. Of course, Newman, Finley, and Sonata coming from the back leg. So everyone's starting off hot. Now the question is of those 3, who are the ones that are going to fall off, and who's going to be the one that from the 3 at the bottom who are going to come back? Because you usually have a flippy floppy of the 2. I expect Oleg to fall back a bit, and I expect Sonata to pick it up a bit in that regard.
Sonata's still your horse, Kaliko, after all this time?
I'm not saying he's winning the block. I'm just expecting him to make it respectable. And in the B block,
where he disappointed you?
I mean, when he won the title, it was like, what the fuck? So I was disappointed because I thought he was going to lose. And in the B block, where I really want to kill myself because Yoshihashi has 8 more points than what he should fucking have.
Leading the block.
Leading the block undefeated. Who the fuck is sitting up here? Like, why? Why? I don't. Why?
I mean, he could win the whole G1 for all we know.
I mean, he's tied with Ren Narita. Gabe Kidd is getting the work. He got shit. And then
well, I mean, technically, if it comes between him and Ren Narita, he does have the win over Ren Narita. So he would have.
Well, remember they're gonna fight each other in. Well, no, because they're going back to the old school. That's right.
Yeah.
The top 2 fight. Which, I mean, God must hate me for oh no. Jesus hates me on this one. I did not see that coming. Especially when his ass was in the play-in. So, Gabe Kidd, please do us a favor, start the downfall of Yoshihashi.
That's not unfortunately that's not happening because Gabe Kidd got injured during the G1 and had to withdraw after the first night.
So Yoshihashi getting 10 points off the rip? What the fuck?
Yep.
Oh man, oh man.
I think he's the first 2-10 as well.
Oh god. Hold on. I need a stronger drink. Shit.
Get that stronger.
You mean Yoshihashi could win this block? Because 10 is to get 10, bro.
And undefeated as well. I mean, even it would be.
I'm having a heart attack.
Well, I will say this: things definitely did not. Going into the G1, things were very much up in the air. Goto was supposed to be a part of the tournament, got injured, had to literally drop the belt. Where ZSJ picked it up, so ZSJ went into the G1 as the champion, and defending G1 champion as well, 50-50.
Well, you knew he wasn't gonna win it, but him adding the title.
It it just
he was gonna.
solidified that he was gonna lose.
Not even that. Usually with the G1, you would have the guy who's the reigning champion or the reigning winner go on all cylinders and at least be in the top two. But that flipped the moment he won that title. So it just kind of.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So they were like, fuck it, let's just let Yoshihashi win this shit and pull it off. Yeah.
Well, let's kind of get into the matches from the 19th. The first match was B Block. Yoshihashi defeated Shingo Takagi in 4 minutes 45 seconds.
When I say a fucking upset, a fucking upset.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I
this
want
match
Yoshihashi tested for performance-enhancing drugs.
I mean, this match set the whole tone for the whole G1. If I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, lying. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm watching this. I'm trying to watch it back. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me.
A block match. Evil defeated Callum Newman in 9 minutes and 2 seconds. I believe that's expected. B Block, Great Khan lost to Drilla Maloney in 9 minutes 8 seconds. Not really an upset, I'd say, at this point. A Block, Bolton, Yuya Uemura defeated Bolton Oleg in 11 minutes and 3 seconds. You can comment if you have any comments during this, Koliko.
Bro, I'm trying to get a noose so I can hang myself because Yoshihashi
Gotcha.
is undefeated in the G1 right now. You keep reading. I'm looking for my tie
Gotcha.
to yank. Yes, keep going. Sorry.
B Block match, Soda Uno beat El Fantasma, 11 minutes and 29 seconds. Ryo Oiwa defeated David Finlay in A Block action, 13 minutes 10 seconds. I think that was the first upset of second, obviously, to Yoshihashi of the night. Gabe Kidd lost to Take a Shit in 13 minutes 15 seconds. Sonata lost to Yota Tsuchi, expected, in 5 minutes 11 seconds. This was definitely an upset. I'd say Ren Narita defeated ZSJ in 16 minutes and 14 seconds.
I mean, yeah, but like we said, I think Sabre Jr. is going to have a busy schedule after having to defend this title. So
Right, agreed. And then Tanahashi defeated Taichi in 20 minutes and 21 seconds. I don't think that was controversial in any way.
no.
Then we have on, I believe, the 20th of July. Yes. We have A Block action. Tanahashi actually lost to Callum Newman in 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Tanahashi always loses to the first, the newbie in the G1, so that doesn't necessarily shock me.
Mm-hmm.
Bolton Oleg defeated Oiwa in 9 minutes and 10 seconds. I get that. David Finlay defeated Sonata in 10 minutes 21 seconds. Kind of getting back.
Of course, because Sonata's disappointing. Yeah.
Tsuchi lost to Evil in 11 minutes, which kind of makes sense because they're trying to get Evil over. And beating the favorite, it makes sense. And then Taichi defeated Yuya Uemura, getting a W. So that would be A Block from the 20th. B block from the 20th, we have Soda Uno losing to Drilla Maloney. That doesn't kind of make sense. Um, Yoshihashi defeated Ren Narita in a minute 26 seconds.
I'm just telling you, that's just.
Great Okan.
Can we please just not mention Yoshihashi's victory?
Great Okan defeated Shingo Takagi in 12 minutes 12 seconds. El Phantasmo defeated Take a Shit in 15 minutes. And ZSJ defeated Gabe Kidd by forfeit because Gabe Kidd could not compete. And then we have, hold on, I believe the 22nd. Yes, 22nd. Only A block on this particular night. We have Oiwa defeating Cal Newman in 10 minutes, 24 seconds. Oiwa is at 2 wins, 1 loss. Newman is at 1 win, 2 losses. Tanahashi lost to Bolton Oleg. Tanahashi's at 1 win, 2 losses. Oleg is at 2 wins, 1 loss. He's doing quite well, which, like we both said.
Yeah.
Now, only if his hat didn't freak me out as much as it does. Evil took a surprising loss to Sanada in 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Evil at 2 wins, 1 loss. Sanada has 1 win, 2 losses. Taichi took a W on David Finlay. David Finlay is not doing well in this tournament so far.
I mean, duh. Duh. He was not gonna do well, son.
He's there for 1 match and 1 match alone, and that's to take down Evil. That's where we're heading.
That's his Super Bowl. Yes,
yeah.
You are correct.
2 wins, 1 loss for Taichi, 1 win, 2 losses for Finlay. Yura Yoramura lost to Yota Tsuji in 16 minutes 56 seconds. Yoramura at 1 win, 2 losses. Tsuji at 2 wins, 1 loss. So far, the winners are doing what they're supposed to do. Tsuji is not in a deficit that he can't come back from.
Except for Yoshihashi, he's not understanding the assignment. Sorry.
It's like, no, so you're supposed to lose these matches. And he's like, gay?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even understand the language, speaking Spanish for some apparent reason. 23rd, we got B block action. Yoshihashi progressed to 3-0 against Drilla Maloney. Drilla Maloney had 2 wins, 1 loss. El Phantasmo lost to Ren Narita. El Phantasmo at 1 win, 2 losses. Ren Narita at 2 wins, 1 loss. He's building a good little cushion for himself, Ren Narita.
He is.
Great Okan at 1 win, 2 losses. Great Okan lost to Take a Shit. 1 win, 2 losses for Great Okan. 2 wins, 1 loss for Konosuke. At some point, obviously, Konosuke is going to drop off because he's AEW, and AEW isn't going to win the G1. And then we have...
I mean, just based on how he's doing now.
Right. Second, the last match, Soda Uno defeated Zack Sabre Jr. in 22 minutes. 2 wins, 1 loss for Soda. 1 win, 2 losses for Zack Sabre. The 1 win is an asterisk for Zack because he didn't technically win he won the match by forfeit, so he's technically at 2 losses, which is kind of surprising for Zack because for 50-50 he lost almost 50% of his matches at this point.
Well, 50-50 gonna bounce back. You can bet.
Yeah.
If he doesn't end at 50-50, it ain't right.
I mean, Soda at least got a sliver of revenge from Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year. And maybe we'll see a rematch from there somewhere down the line because he did get a victory on the champ.
It is. It's gonna happen. So it's just basically to give Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, you want to be a champion? So go give him that Hogan '83 schedule. I'm just telling you,
Now
it's
we're
happening,
on
brother. It's
the
gonna happen, brother.
now we're on the 25th. We got Bolton Oleg defeating Sonata in 9 minutes 57 seconds. Yuri Uemura defeated Callum Newman in 10 minutes 32 seconds. Taichi taking a drop to Evil in 10 minutes 31 seconds. Yota Tsuji defeating Oiwa in 13 minutes and 43 seconds. And then Tanahashi taking the W off of David Finlay in 16 minutes. This was pretty much the most cut and dry night of the G1. I mean, no surprises with these, no?
No. And then I'm looking at the schedule. I think that this is weird because they got August 16th, A block winner versus winner of second place B block versus third place A block.
So they're doing the semifinal thing again. Even though there's...
It looks like it's a three-way. I think top three makes triple threat. Bro, confusing.
Yeah. I suppose we'll get there when we get there.
Which means Yoshihashi has a better shot of making the finals, and that is something I am not here for. So.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Alright, that'll conclude our coverage of the G1 for the time being. Hopefully we'll have more in-depth G1 coverage next week on the show. But that will conclude our coverage. And we are wrestling with WWE SummerSlam. It's next Saturday and Sunday. It takes place in East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. Could have sworn I was in New York a couple years ago, but I digress. Or maybe they just moved the building around. Who knows? But
Who knows?
Saturday and Sunday are lined up and ready to go. So, how do you?
Yep, they got the setup.
How do you feel about night one?
Let me verify the card because I've seen it. I'm typing it in my good old Twitter machine. But it's interesting to say the least. I mean, for it to be a 2-night, you kind of gotta divvy it up and give. It feels like it's about as even as you can get, right?
I would maybe say so. I mean,
because that's pretty even. I mean, you got 3 title matches on Saturday. Sunday, you get a majority of the title matches. So the good thing is that they're getting the celebrity part out of the way night 1, so it doesn't overshadow night 2. It seems like, with the exception of with the exception of Sami Zayn and Cross, the rest of them are relatively new matches. So, like, you got night 1, which is like, the theme is new night. That's the new night. And then second night is storyline night.
I would agree with that, yeah.
which is good because that means night two, they make you so, and that's a good thing because they want you to be invested in the stories. You gotta go to night two.
Right. But I mean, does that make people maybe turned off of night one to maybe not watch it?
No, because that's why they put Punk and Gunther and Roman. See, that's why they put Roman there. Roman and Punk, Roman Punk Jelly Roll are gonna draw night one.
Could you could you believe that sentence you just said? Punk, Roman, and
That's
Jelly Roll are drawing night one.
well, come on. I mean,
I know, yes, but it's still such a bizarre sentence.
that is a bizarre sentence, but let's be honest. It's not even. It's more for to see. More people are going to want to see if Jelly Roll can really roll in that ring.
Very true. But let's get into it. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. All I gotta say is Karrion Kross better fucking win this match. Or any signs of him being over are going to be dead and buried at this show. What say you, Kaliko?
No, I don't think so. But the question is what the fuck is he trying to get Sammy to say? He's just like saying Sammy. I'm like, what? He's black or something? I don't know. What is he supposed to say? Like,
I'm not
he
an
ate pork.
Uso.
He had pork. He's not a Uso. Like what? He did take Jay to the Waffle House. I'm just trying to figure out what is the
It's the
meaning
other
of what
white
he's.
meat.
You know what I'm saying? Like what? I'm not Canadian. I'm like, what is he supposed to say? Like,
Well, I guess hopefully we'll find out Saturday what he might say. But like I said, cross for the W. What say you?
I would think so, which means Sammy's not having a good couple of SummerSlams, if you ask.
That does make sense. And usually, and I like to call it, SummerSlam is the WrestleMania for the heels. So it would make sense that the heel would go over.
Not for John Cena, but I will get there.
I mean that's a curious case, but we'll get there when we get there. Um, the tag team match for the women's tag team championships. Rachel Gonzalez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Who wins, Kaliko?
This is interesting because I would think that Bliss and I would think Bliss and Charlotte would win to prolong the storyline because I guess they want to break them up, but they're so good together right now, and I guess people are so happy that Charlotte is finally getting cheered that they're gonna hold it a little bit longer. And her winning the tag titles would help because it keeps her from being in the main event, you know. So.
And I mean, it would be okay for Judgment Day to lose the titles and win them back eventually. I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting Liv back from injury anytime soon. Hell, I mean, a Bliss and Flair could have like a little nice, 3-4 month reign as tag team champions and then just drop them back to Raquel and Roxanne. And I don't think anybody'd be the wiser. I mean, low key, I do feel like people are expecting one to turn on the other one eventually anyway, so it would make sense, to do it while they're tag team champions. And like you said, they're kind of like the Daniel Bryan Kane tag team right now. So yeah, give them the gold, I would say.
Yeah.
You did say Bliss and Charlotte for the win, right?
I know. Bliss with flair, a flare of bliss. I don't know. I don't know.
Bliss,
I
a
need to come.
blissful flair.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Um, Probably the most interesting match on the card: Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Who wins?
If you don't think Jelly Roll did not spend 5 months in Tampa, renting an apartment, going to the performance center every day, to go up to New Jersey and lose this match.
He didn't take his private jet to New Jersey, have a nice dinner before the show, just to lose to fucking Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre.
That is true.
Does Jelly Roll impress, or will it go off like a wet fart?
The, mm, I if you saw what he did Friday, yeah, we're fucked. Logan Paul gonna make him look like $1 million. Don't expect don't expect a bad Buddy performance, kids.
Alright. We got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
This is an interesting one because it seems like neither can afford to lose.
I disagree with that, but I'll let you continue.
And the reason I say, because if Braun and Reed lose, what credibility do they have?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I don't think that this was supposed to be the original plan for SummerSlam. I do think that we
That
were
is
supposed to get Roman Reigns and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Breakker. And Seth is obviously legitimately injured, so Punk got fast tracked to the title. And
I don't think that fool injured, but that's a whole other issue.
well, I mean, he's injured enough for him to miss SummerSlam.
My question is, if how many injuries you seen where they haven't announced an injury, especially with Seth?
But think of it this way, Kaliko. If Seth Rollins could be there, would he not be there?
I think he's going to be there.
Well, I mean, he might be there, but he's not wrestling.
We'll see.
I
So I see it one of two ways. I see Seth interfering in this match and costing it, or Seth cashing in that night. So one of the two is happening. I could see Heyman costing them this match because to me, you have to further Roman and Breaker, and I don't think that happens with a win.
what?
It could. I mean, maybe because Breaker says I'm not done with you. Honestly, it's a 50-50 toss-up. I could see, but on the heels of Jay getting his ass pinned for the last 5 months, I'm gonna go with Roman and Jay.
I'm going with Breaker and Bronson for the W. Jay takes the pin. You can't let Roman.
That was my second. That was my second. That was my initial guess.
I'm gonna say like Roman is distracted by Paul, so he kind of lets Jay go, and then Breaker, breaks Jay, gets the pin. Um, it doesn't necessarily. It doesn't really do anything for Roman to pin either guy. the feud is with Seth, and not even really with Seth, but with Paul. At some point, Roman needs to get the Paul. But if these guys are preventing him from getting the Paul, then it's more of a pursuit for Roman. And Jay is just there along for the ride, getting his ass beat.
Ooh, I mean, Jay's because he's family.
And family gets his ass beat for Oos.
For the Oos.
Mm-hmm. His tribal chief.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Alright. WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill.
Oh my God. Jade's gonna beat that ass.
You think?
Give me one reason Tiffany is winning.
Because Naomi is not a factor.
Jay's winning.
If Naomi was in any type of in the realm of this match, I would say yeah, Jade has a legitimate shot. But considering that Naomi is not going to be anywhere near this match, I could definitely see that Jade Cargill is another dragon for Tiffany Stratton to slay. How many paid preview matches has Tiffany Stratton had as women's champion?
How many people are... Tiffany is not it right now. Tiffany is not the same Tiffany from January.
Well, I mean, taking a L to... I mean, what does winning the championship really do for Jade Cargill?
If I'll put it this way, if they didn't want her to win the championship, they would have had her lose in the Queen of the Ring. Because, like I told you, Queen of the Ring is SummerSlam's Royal Rumble, and that's the.
But I could make the argument that Jade is a temperamental talent that you have to give, you need to draw a bone to every once in a while to kind of keep them happy. And, you know, we'll give you the Queen of the Ring, but you ain't winning our belt at, you know, SummerSlam.
Oh, she's winning, and I don't see Tiffany, because there's no advantage that I can see this with a keen eye and say, oh yeah, Tiffy got this advantage, she's winning.
Well, let's see. You're in the Jade Cargill camp, I'm in the Tiffany Stratton camp. Let's see who prevails.
Let's see who prevails.
That brings us to the main event of night one. World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther versus CM Punk. Who wins, Kaliko?
Ooh. My mind's telling me Gunther, but my body's screaming Punk. But does Punk pull the trigger? I would think he would. But then again, I don't think Seth's injured, so I think he wins and Seth gets him.
Well,
because I cannot in good faith see this match happening without a Seth interference. Considering how Seth has been in his shit for every match he's had,
What?
as far as trying to progress.
I agree with that. So if Seth is not necessarily as injured as they're saying he is, then maybe CM Punk wins the match and Seth Rollins cashes in on CM Punk. That would be great storytelling.
I'm telling you, or, I mean, Seth is technically the money in the bank, but who, I mean, never mind. Because that now I'm putting on a tinfoil hat. Fucking Braun Breaker cashing it in.
And then out of nowhere, oh no, Yoshihashi has debuted with WWE.
I will fucking drink acid. Jesus, don't you choke me out like that, sir.
If this is cut and dry, then I see Gunter winning. If Seth's not in the picture, there's really no reason for Punk to have the belt, if I'm being honest. He doesn't necessarily need it.
True.
So, what if we've seen what Gunter does without the belt? He wrestles old men and commentators. So
I mean, with the belt, he was wrestling old men in. Just saying.
So it makes sense that you keep the belt on Gunter. Like I said, Punk doesn't necessarily need it. So if Seth's there, then Seth's gonna win the title, whether Gunter retains or not. If Seth's not there, then it's Gunter, in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna go with Punk.
Okay. Yo, very divided on this show so far.
Very divided, except for Jelly Roll.
Yeah, we could agree on Jelly Rolls.
United on rolls of jelly.
There you go.
And blissful flair or whatever.
Evan, now we are wrestling with Night 2. TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. We have Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy versus Andrade El Idaho and Ray Phoenix. Do It Yourself, Anthony Gargano, Johnny Gargano and Tomato Ciampa, Fraxium, Axiom and Fraser Crane, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford Mazda. Who wins?
Where the fuck you see that?
No, it was announced on SmackDown that this match was happening. And I'm on Wikipedia as well, so.
Let's see. All these motherfuckers in the match. Let's see.
It's worth noting that this is the first time the Wyatt Six has been on paid PLE since they debuted, maybe like a year and a half ago.
They didn't put all that drama into the Wyatt Six for the.
Yeah. A random TLC match.
I just see it. I don't. Wyatt Six, I would think, but you wouldn't put them in a match like this unless you are comfortable with them losing as well.
Well, I mean, the Wyatt Six just got the titles 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
yeah.
But I can also see they ask like not. But you also don't. Who do you see pinning the Wyatts for the title down the line? Not beating, pinning, just pinning them.
I agree with that, but I mean, they're not. I mean, if we're talking about Uncle Howdy, then that's up for the debate. But we're talking about Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy. I don't think that they're considered as supernatural forces as strong as um, Uncle Howdy. So I do think that they are in the category of can be beaten. You know what I mean?
Oh, oh God, no. But I mean, if one's supernatural, they all supernatural.
If that was true, why did Luke Harper and Eric Rowan lose so many matches?
uh, Wait a minute, but they were supernatural. Hell,
They were part of the
they went.
Wyatts.
That's my point. They would hop off and hop up and hop in and hop out. So I mean, but it does scream. I can make the case the Wyatts losing it because you don't want to see them get pinned for the title, and I can make the argument that they should win it because they just got it a couple weeks ago. So, so conventional wisdom tells you that they should win the match.
If they don't win the match, who wins the match?
Uh, this feels like some shit that they would like pull out of their ass with a fraction.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
I personally think they would pull some shit out of their ass like Praxium. The same way they did LWO. LWO, you're the number one contenders now. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Wyatt 6 for the W. If Andrade and Ray Phoenix win this match, I'll drink acid. That's all I'm saying.
So they're your Yoshihashi.
And not even Ray Phoenix, like I like Ray Phoenix, but like Andrade is just like, ugh. Like
What? His post-divorce gift.
his post-divorce gift. His post-divorce gift is that he's still employed.
What they got to? No, they could have dropped that contract anytime.
And they, believe me, they should have. Literally, the only reason he's there is because he was married to Charlotte. Once that contract runs out, his ass is going back to AEW.
That's a lie, because his ass wouldn't have got released if he was still.
Was he married to? Was he seeing Charlotte when he got released?
Yep. Keep in mind, AEW, Ric Flair was his manager.
But that was also in the Vince McMahon regime as well.
It doesn't matter who the fuck regime it was.
I digress. Alright, next match. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Who wins, Kalika?
I mean, Dominic's gonna win because you saw that pop he got in Mexico. Shit.
Yeah. Triple A
You would have thought
Mania.
he was Jesus Christ. I was like, what the fuck?
Triple A Mania, he will be in a four-way for the Triple A Heavyweight Championship.
Dominic Mysterio, the Hulk Hogan of
Does Finn Balor cost? No. I don't think we're at the point where Finn is going to screw Dominic. I think we're still a bit of ways away from that, if I'm being honest. So maybe Finn Balor and McFunko helps Dominic win, but yeah, Dom for the win. All right.
Yeah, Dom for the win.
Solo Coca-Cola versus Jacob Fuck You in a steel cage match for the United States Championship. Who wins?
He just got the belt, so Steel Cage screams Fatu's losing. He doesn't have the numbers.
So basically, Solo leaves the ring, escapes the cage.
Of course.
Yeah, I buy that.
He ain't pinning the motherfucker.
Not again, at least. Alright, no disqualifications, no count out, last chance match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. If Becky wins, Lyra can no longer challenge for the title as long as Becky is champion. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. This kind of screams Lyra, right?
Yeah. The whole point of it was to make people care about Lyra.
Do you think we're at the point where people do care about Lyra?
They cheered her when she beat Bayley, so
The only other scenario I see this, because I definitely see Bayley coming into this match.
and helping Becky.
Does Becky help Bayley? Or does Bayley help Becky? Or does Bayley help Lyra?
Bayley's helping Becky.
So the two horsewomen.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean Becky would win.
I mean that if Bayley comes in and interferes in this match, it would be for Becky's benefit. The problem is that Lyra needs to win because of the fact that she cannot. If she loses, where does she go from here? And that's a hard sell.
Okay, but hear me out. Bayley helps Becky, so Lyra doesn't get can no longer challenge for the championship. So Bayley could have a fair one-on-one against Becky. And then Bayley beats Becky, which then makes for all three able to contend against Bayley. No?
Nah, I don't see it. I mean, it is a street fight, so we do see a Bayley interference. It would have to come, but they booed Bayley.
Well, I mean, we have 6 matches.
They've been booing Bayley when they had the tag match. They were booing Bayley.
I mean, that could be for storyline purposes as well. But, I mean, look at it this way. We have 6 matches. Low-key, the Wyatt 6 are our faces. Dom is a tweener.
No, he's a heel. People just love him.
Yeah. Solo's 100% heel. So, I mean, we can't just have all heels winning the whole long night. So, I do feel like Lyra has to take the W. Just because we can't have, all heels.
Well, I think Lyra's taking the W because of the simple fact that it's her final shot. So she's got to get it.
True. Alright. Women's World Championship match. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Naomi, no?
Oh yeah, especially the way how she called Stephanie Vaquer, Stephanie Vaquer, oh whatever your name is.
Think you've been Yoshihashi made you drink a little too much, Kaliko?
It's, I mean, I just love that Stephanie Vaquer.
Rakor. I mean, just could go
It
Rakor if you want.
it's the way she said it. It was just like Vaquer, Stephanie Vaquer.
I mean, it makes sense. Naomi versus Rakor as well. Alright. And that brings us to a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Who wins?
Now, this is where it's interesting because there's no Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Don't expect The Rock.
Never.
John Cena in championship matches at SummerSlam is a combined 2-8 in championship matches.
Damn.
Cody gets the win.
Agreed. We were very in unison for night two.
I mean, I could see a scenario they do a double turn, but I cannot for the life of me see Cena. See, the only thing that's gonna hurt is Cena's tour as champion. But he's still obligated for those dates, championship or not. So fuck it. See, Cena loses.
Right. And I mean, it was always a farewell tour. You know, the title was just an added bonus to all of that. And I mean, if Cody doesn't win the title back here, I mean, when does he? I don't see them with him winning the championship on some random, you know, SmackDown or Raw in December, you know, with it being John Cena's last match ever.
Well, one, it was a waste of a fucking King of the Ring to give it to him anyway, because I'm sitting there thinking, where the fuck was his rematch clause? But that's just...
Not to mention he beat John Cena at Money in the Bank.
I mean, same with Uso. I mean, Uso, where the fuck is his rematch clause? Like, where the fuck?
Oh God,
like
no.
These niggas don't believe it. I mean, even if you don't believe Uso getting the title,
I just don't want to see Uso wrestle Gunther again.
You have to respect the rematch clause.
And I do respect it, but they don't. And they haven't for like
They don't, because Kevin Owens hasn't had his rematch clause in like 7 years. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Alright. I mean, with that logic, The Rock has a rematch clause from when he lost the WWE Championship in 2012.
Yeah. Bitch should have used it.
He hasn't. Alright. I believe that concludes our coverage of SummerSlam.
CM Punk didn't even use his rematch clause. I'm just saying.
No respect for the rematch clauses.
Unless your name's Gunther.
Very true. Smart man with a oil.
Somehow, magic rematch clause.
He had it in his contract. He has a good lawyer.
Mandatory rematch clause. Like, God damn.
Right.
Or Jacob Fatu, because he got a rematch clause.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. that will conclude.
See, I make too much sense. I make too much. Or Chelsea Green. Even Chelsea Green got a goddamn rematch clause. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Roman hasn't even got a rematch yet.
No.
And that will conclude
Yeah.
our coverage of WWE SummerSlam Night 1 and 2 and this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Wednesday as we interview Blackout, and join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Extra and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko, as we are trying to be the Hulk Hogan's of this wrestling. Too soon. Too soon.
Not ready. Not there. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Rematch clause. Respect the rematch clause.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.